Good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to 13 Cards Subject to Change. We have a hell of a show today. As you can tell, this is Jesse introducing the show today. Who would have thought this would ever happen?
You should have. You see that spike you got on there?
I know.
Holy crap!
I mean,
all you had to do was get a different job, and then all of a sudden you're here every week.
I would have been great in radio.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
Well, as you can tell, I am here with the fellas. Of course, Zach Bonjour.
I am here.
And, of course, we are in
man.
Leroy's beautiful kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we are.
Yes.
There we are. Golf
Yes.
clap. Golf clap.
That's for Jesse, and you know. This is for Zach.
There we are. Leroy's got golf on in the other room, apparently. So.
And this is for me.
All right.
I did cheers into mine.
And now Leroy's ego is bigger.
I didn't think it could get any bigger, but
It's about to get bigger than this house, apparently.
Right? Yeah. All right. Well, as Jesse said, we have one hell of a show because a lot has happened in the last week.
Oh, yeah.
From news to title changes to title unifications that we'll talk about. I know Jesse's got some strong feelings about
I do
that.
have some strong feelings.
But we're going to start out on the show. We like to sort of take some of the sour, rough notes and sort of not necessarily get them over with, but just kind of get to the point.
Yeah.
And then we'll get them through, and then we'll go on with the show. Because, the show must go on is the longest running thing in this business.
Yes.
This past week, we lost Jim Crocket Jr.
March 4th.
March 4th. If you are listening to this show and don't know who that man is, boy, have you got a long way to catch up, folks.
Got a lot of history
definitely.
to catch up on. He's if not for him, his father, Vince's father. Listen, I don't think wrestling is where it is today.
The only thing I will quote from the Jim Cornette experience, which I think should be quoted, the real wrestling war wasn't AEW versus NXT.
No.
It wasn't the Monday Night Wars.
No.
It was Vince Jr. and Jim Crockett Jr. from the 80s till about 93, I think it was. Because,
something like that. When he sold it to Turner.
Because remember, that was at a time when wrestling was so big in this country that Vince couldn't run a show in the Carolina area, anywhere down south, really. This is back when wrestling was really territory because Vince stayed in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
He had the New York style of wrestling. But Jim Crockett stayed down south. And I don't think people realize Crockett Promotions wasn't a singular thing. It wasn't just the Carolinas. It was the Carolinas. It was Kansas City in that area. At one point, I think he had Kansas City. He had the Floridas. I mean, there was people don't realize there was a time that Jim Crockett was running 3 shows a night in 3 completely separate towns.
Yeah, he had Carolina, he had Florida area, he had Texas. He even worked with AWA up here in Minnesota.
Right. Yeah.
Did.
So I mean,
so he was a busy guy.
Yeah. You talk about one of the most influential people in the history of the business.
For sure.
But I mean, it's like okay. So once I heard he had passed, I literally a list of former Jim Crockett Promotion personnel.
Yeah.
I'm going through this list, folks. We've got Chris Adams, Magnum TA, Brad Anderson, Gene Anderson, Tommy Angel, Afa and Siko were there for a while. The Tahitian Prince.
Yep.
Chris Champion. Giant Baba. Baba was there, folks.
Baba was there for a long time.
Yes.
Ron Garvin. Always loved Ron's in-ring work. Bam Bam started down there.
Bam Bam started down there, too.
And, of course, this past week, a moment that will live in infamy in the modern day, Tully Blanchard returned to the ring.
Yes.
Tully Blanchard was big in there.
Yes,
and
he
obviously,
was.
Tully came out with the 10 pounds of silver, the former United States Championship. Love the tribute, by the way, by FTR with the belts. The
of
old
course.
Belts.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was awesome.
Yes.
And Tully, I watched him in that match from the strikes in the knees. Tully still knows what he's doing. The placement's on point.
Of course.
Tully still had, and then of course to see J.J. Dillon be J.J. Dillon is just.
It was great to see J.J. again. Absolutely great.
I personally loved the moment where they were like, "What did he throw?" I'm like, "Guys, it's J.J. Dillon. It's the shoe."
It is the shoe. Yes.
And Jim Ross even had to say, "It's happened so many times where that that apparently we're still surprised. So but I mean, I'm going down the list here, folks. You got Rocky Johnson from those days. You got the Briscoe.
Yeah.
The original Briscoes.
The original
obviously.
Briscoes.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, Jerry and Jack.
Yep.
You get the Browns, Denny and Jerry.
Yep.
David Patterson, Scott Casey, Pork Chop Cash.
Yeah. Pork Chop started in Jim Crockett Southwest. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Carlos
Colon.
Colon.
Yes, Carlos Colon. Yes.
Yep. You got
Before he started his.
I mean, folks. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a name here, and we're all gonna gush a little bit because we loved this guy, Bill Dundee.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember?
Oh yeah.
You remember Dundee?
Oh man.
Oh my God.
One of the greats. Yeah, people. If you don't know a lot about this, go look it up. You will be happy that you researched this history. Now, luckily, some of it is on the WWE Network that will now be moved to Peacock.
Yeah.
But the rest of it you actually can find on YouTube.
Well, the
on the
beautiful
internet.
thing I think that Jim Cornette said, and I think it was very touching, was if Crockett never sold, he'd still be in Charlotte.
Oh, for sure.
But the truth is that he said it's fact. It's not me saying I prefer this. It was the best wrestling out there, and I'm going down this list, folks. I mean, good God, Eddie Gilbert, Pepper Gomez, Terry Gordy.
Man.
Yeah.
Salvador Guerrero III, the original Chavo. Chavo Sr. was in the Jim Crockett promotion. Stan Hansen. I mean, I'm just naming off legends here, folks. I mean,
Hall of Famers.
Billy Jack Haynes. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Billy Jack. Ron Bass. The Hebners.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah.
Wasn't Elo Road Warriors down there with those guys a little bit?
Yes,
they were. Road
Definitely.
Warriors and Paul worked a couple of the territories for him as well. Oh God, Miss Hyatt.
Wow.
People forgot she was down there.
Wow.
Yeah. Scott Hall. Scott Hall was the American Starship Coyote. If you remember that.
Yes.
Going back into our thing of tricks.
Back in the day when you see old pictures of him and he has that 70s porn mustache.
Yeah.
I'm like, you see that and go,
but I mean,
wow.
But I mean, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Think about this. I'm sitting here. Paul Heyman's name comes up.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Barry Jack Horton, Bill Irwin. You've got Scott Irwin. You've got Abe Jacobs, Bob Armstrong.
Legend after legend after legend after legend.
Everyone worked for him.
Yeah.
Carlos Colon was on the list. I'm not sure if I already said Carlos on
You
there,
did.
but
yeah, you did.
Hiro Matsuda.
Yeah.
Was down there.
One of the great Japanese wrestlers. Great.
Well, okay. So Jesse, that was the other thing about Jim Crockett. He was a little more open to the Japanese guys coming over than Vince was. Even though
it's strange because for those who don't know, one of New Japan's creators worked for Vince McMahon Sr.
Right.
So it is weird that Jim was actually more open to it than Vince McMahon Sr. was, and heck, even Vincent Kennedy McMahon now.
Yeah.
Even now he will struggle with Japanese wrestlers.
I didn't realize this. J.J. Dillon's real name is James Morrison.
So it's Jim Morrison.
Basically, yeah.
Well, it's crazy when you look at that. It's like, oh, well, that's their real name? Why did they choose that? All right. And some,
Oh, God. I forgot about this. Ricky Santana.
Wow.
Was down there, too.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. We should, it's like I think we're gushing more because of the names.
Yeah.
We forget what Jim was able to do.
Yeah.
And actually, really more importantly, it was the complete opposite of what Vince Jr. did because, Vince, everyone says everything goes through him. He's the final say on everything. Jim Crockett was more so letting the wrestling people do that. He was the booker one time for 6 weeks. That story's been told multiple times when they fired Dusty.
Yeah.
He was the booker for like a very short period of time, and then I forgot who they brought in after that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this was a guy. God, I'm sorry, Nikolai Volkov. I'm saying here just like all of these people that everyone thought Vince made famous.
No.
Long before Vince put them on national TV, local
Jim had
Southern TV. Which, by the way, for those of you who don't understand, Vince was Saturday morning wrestling.
Yeah.
Jim Crockett ran network television in prime time in the old South days.
Yes, he did.
I mean, it's just That was, I mean, again, that was the peak of wrestling.
Yeah.
And you know, Crockett Promotions always did wrestling the right way.
Yes, they did.
The stories were very believable. I mean, you know, again, Vince always wanted more of the entertainment. Now, would it have lasted as long? I think Vince ultimately still would have won, but I think it would have been pushed harder because I don't think WCW at that time was going to push Vince.
WCW became a mess in late 1999 and into 2000. So because at that point they kind of went off the rails with their booking, how they were trying to treat superstars and things of that nature, or wrestlers in that nature.
Yeah.
So Vince at that point won, but if Jim wouldn't have sold, would he have still been around? I think he probably would have made it until at least 2003. But one thing I give Vince Jr. a lot of credit for is seeing that.
As much as we hate it,
I was going to say, he saw the future really is getting as many eyes on it as possible,
right? And
touring a lot, because that's the only way a mainstream audience is going to care.
Well, but the other thing about it is, not to sort of take over your point, but to sort of piggyback off it, was that y'all can hate Vince, but Vince understood that the world was going where it was going.
Yeah,
because he always he always had that vision of taking over entertainment, and wrestling had to evolve. We might not like where it went to.
Plus, I believe back in the late 80s, and I'm going to have to go back to find the name, he worked with a former junior executive at Disney.
Okay.
With Disney. So he understood where the future of entertainment was
going.
If
anyone's had the pulse on the... Because, I always say this about where Leroy and I work. People always see now, e-cigarettes are now kind of this big thing, vaping, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody kind of laughs at that and says, well, they got with technology. I'm like, dude, the cigarette companies have had this idea since the 70s. They just knew that it wasn't the right time to put it out there.
Yeah.
Then when technology became a big idea, it's like, all right, we'll put e-cigs out now. They had that idea for years.
It still kills people. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that with wrestling, and no one's got the pulse on entertainment more than Disney. Disney kind of runs that needle. So, I mean, if Vince had the foresight to look forward to see where it was going to be, I'm not blaming the guy for what he had to do, because I hate to say it. Jim Cornette, whether you like his takes or not, Jesse, and whether Leroy agrees with this, the Japanese the Japanese strong style, they're having to adjust if they want to break into the American television market. Strong has to look differently than Wrestle Kingdom.
Correct.
Wrestle Kingdom has to become bigger. Because remember, Wrestle Kingdom used to be January the 4th.
Yep.
Which was just a day, and they were happy with it. But if you want to break into the American market, you got to have a name. You got to have something that people can hold on to.
Yep.
So it had to become Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
The G1 was never, this was the 31st G1.
This was the 31st.
Yeah, 31st G1. But the tournament's been going on forever.
Yeah.
It's only been the G1 though for the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Leroy, this was obviously, you were turning on a lot of the old Crockett Promotion shows. What are those shows like to you looking back?
Oh, it's just nostalgic. I mean, the way they did it.
Crowds, man. Oh,
and I mean, the crowds are great. I mean, and just where they were. I mean, and people really got into it. And
remember, after Crockett sold to TBS, for years, Vince couldn't go to the South and do well because the South was like, what's this hokey-tokey wrestling stuff you got? Because see, that's my biggest thing. I don't think if AEW tried to go after Crockett Promotion fans, they would get anywhere.
No.
They have their niche audience. That's fine. But I'm sitting here saying to myself...
Well, it's funny, though, that we say that because I believe...
If you think that Vince's fans think you're hokey, dude, what would Crockett think about AEW coming up?
I actually do believe... One thing I've always agreed with Paul Heyman with was that he didn't get the right financial backing, because I actually think ECW would have done very well in the South.
Oh, but Paul said 1,000 times, the only reason that ECW died was they couldn't get on another network in time to start running shows and making money. Because the thing about it is, again, they're independent contractors. Lucha Underground lost because they lost the roster.
Yeah.
NWA's in trouble because what's your roster going to look like? Vince gobbled up Eli Drake. And by the way, LA Knight, I don't hate it. I don't think it's that bad. No. Plus, again, it's Eli Drake. He's going to make anything work.
Well, NWA, I think Billy is making he made a good call on basically telling those wrestlers, if you would like to go work elsewhere, it's not going to be held against you.
Well,
because
he
decided
Vince
to
probably did for Big Show was everyone thinks Vince was lowballing him, mean. Vince, as we talked about on the show, and we all agreed, we want to pay Show for what he's worth now, not what he's done. And if Tony Khan wants to open the checkbook, remember, and even Jim Cornette, who's got problems with Vince, he'll say all the time, Vince has that cadence of, look, if you can't get what you want from me, use my offer against the place that they'll actually pay you.
Yeah.
So if anything, maybe behind the scenes, and maybe Paul White will feel slighted, and that's fine if Paul wants to feel slighted. But Vince may have done right by Big Show by saying, take my offer, go to Tony Khan, see what you can get, go make the money. Because it's like, do people really think Show's not going to be in the Hall of Fame? Show never had a crossword with Vince. Nope. He always did whatever Vince needed him to do. He's the perfect Hall of Fame candidate type of guy. So, but I mean,
Chris Jericho, you're going to wait though. Stupid.
Yeah, he might.
Here's the thing though,
stupid idiot.
Well, thank you. Here's the thing though, I don't think Chris says as much bad as people think.
Well, no, I don't think
Chris knows how to play the politics.
It's not about the bad of it. It's about the fact. So when he signed with AEW, and this is still kind of actually in the Jim Crockett conversation we're having, when he signed with AEW, he basically had told Vince he would not sign with that company before he did so. So I'm sure when and Stephanie has talked about, when my dad feels slighted, he can hold that grudge for a while.
True. But remember,
now Chris still means a lot to the company,
right? But you also have to remember the biggest difference here is that Vince feeling slighted by Ahmed Johnson, which that story recently came out. First of all, I don't know if Ahmed's Hall of Fame worthy. I don't know if that was Ahmed's career.
No,
he was good, but he wasn't maybe that good.
Yeah.
But the other thing about it is that you got Paul there now.
Yeah.
And Paul was able to talk Vince into finally getting Bruno in because he went to Bruno.
Yeah.
He was able to talk to Warrior and get that fixed up. So maybe Paul can. And the other thing about it is that behind the scenes, folks, who knows from what we've seen if Chris is actually doing this because he wants to, or if he's just taking Tony Khan's money. Because at this point, I don't flip and know.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
But anyway, to kind of go from there, Leroy and I made a decision before Jesse got here. Leroy, you want to get this set up? We're gonna do what we do on the show. And again, folks, if we've missed the death of some of your favorite people, for us, and I hate to say it, but the 10-bell salute to me is a very special thing. When Perro Aguayo Jr. got it in Lucha Underground, that was a Mexican thing because Perro Aguayo Jr. was
a legend.
A legend in Lucha Libre. Yeah. For us, Jim Crockett is the guy that really created the version of wrestling that, everyone says Cornette needs to leave in the past, but it was still one of my favorite things to go back and watch nostalgia.
And we still use a ton of it today.
Oh, so. We do.
Oh, yeah. He was the NWA president, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
In his time there.
So I mean,
it's awesome.
Again, if one of your favorite indie guys dies or if someone else passes away, we'll talk about them. But for me, the 10-bell salute is just very sacred, and not that they're not deserving because they obviously put their bodies on the line.
Of course.
But everyone has their own definition of 10-bell salute. I mean, Eddie got his from WWE because Eddie was just Eddie.
Yeah.
But Perro Aguayo didn't get one from other companies. He got it from Lucha Underground. They might have done it, but it was more off camera, where Lucha Underground had it on camera. Yeah. But anyway, Leroy, if you would like to go get that. Ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace to Jim Crocket Jr., the former president of not only the NWA, but obviously Crockett Promotions, and one of the best promoters, maybe second best promoter of all time. Because, I mean, again, I still give it to Vince Jr.
Yeah.
You kind of have to. So, moving on here to get some more somewhat bad news out of the way for possibly Jesse. Jesse, big news out of the land of the rising sun.
I thought we were going to talk about Shaq, so I actually choked there for a second. Oh, goodness.
I got to get the laugh track ready for that now.
Yeah, big, humongous news.
Yeah.
They are getting rid of not just the so here's the deal. The IWGP Intercontinental title is basically going to be null and void.
Yes.
But the IWGP Heavyweight title, that design is being retired.
Yes.
And they're going to have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Before we get into your feelings about it, the internet is saddened by it. The wrestling community is definitely hurt. But I just want to get this out of the way so that we can talk about the legacy of the Intercontinental title especially. Why were people so mad when Vince retired Goldie, but people are not viscerally hating New Japan for basically ending up doing the same thing and creating one uniform title?
So I think people were mad at Vince. And by the way, I'm actually semi-mad about the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
I'm not saying people aren't angry, but I feel like there was more of a laugh at Vince when he created one belt. Seth was the one guy.
Yeah.
Whereas this, people are saddened by it, but they're not laughing and saying, well, that's going to make sense. It's like there's a lot less hatred. You can still be mad about it, but you're mad about it because you missed the Intercontinental title.
I will also say this. New Japan also does not... Where wrestling... And like I said, wrestling fans are probably the ones more so who when people think wrestling is toxic, it's just a certain part of the fan base that kind of makes it feel that way.
I agree.
Because really, like, New Japan is never... Basically, no Gaijin fan, which is what we are, not Japanese fan. We are Gaijin fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do care about us a lot. We mean the world to them.
Yes, exactly.
But they've never slighted us.
No.
Now, this decision comes because I believe they felt like they couldn't do anything more with it, which I want to say I disagree with, but I get why they're doing it this way, and I'll explain quick.
Okay.
So... The last, I think, singles Intercontinental champion was Naito.
Yes.
Before
the run with the dual belts.
Before the run, before he got both belts.
Yeah.
And
he had a good run too.
It was a great run. And I think
the disrespect for that belt might have been one of the most respectful things from a Japanese strong style perspective because Naito was playing the part.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, he was disrespecting the belt, but the belt. And again, this goes against what Ryback said. I'm not agreeing with Ryback. It's a prop if used properly. It's not disrespectful to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't think Naito was slighting the Intercontinental title when he was kicking it to the ring. I just think Naito was trying to play Tranquilo Naito in the sense of, I deserve better, but I'll take what I can get type of deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to your point.
But to kind of argue against Ryback, Naito also always showed how much he cared for the championship. So one of the last matches was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was Ibushi versus Naito. Because Naito just wanted the Intercontinental Championship back.
Right, exactly.
He understood how important that championship is. There was a reason they put it on Chris Jericho.
Well, but this was also a different Naito than originally had. Well,
true.
Naito had grown up.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So the unification, it hurts in the sense because they only really had the championship, I believe, for 7 years. So 5, 6, 7 years.
I think they only had about 14, 15 champions.
It's only 13 champions in its history.
Okay.
And only 3 of them have had very, very long runs. But the guys who have had it...
One of those is Nakamura, right? Because
one of those are Nakamura. So Nakamura...
He kind of made that belt. So.
And Nakamura, Naito, and I would say Jay White helped to make that championship feel, and of course the Ace, helped to make that championship feel incredibly prestigious.
I didn't want to bring this up till you finished your point,
Yeah.
but I'll just go there because you brought him up. The Switchblade said he understood that being a dual champion meant defending it defending 2 belts. Do you think that's another slight to the Gaijin wrestler, or do you think that's just Jay White going after Ibushi?
Actually, I think that's a slight to Ibushi from Jay White. Because that, like I said,
shoot or no?
I think both.
Okay,
I think both.
Because I know Jay is as adopted to the Japanese style as anyone at this point.
But I will say this: I do believe overall, I get why they're doing it. Because to Jon Moxley's credit, he has now made the U.S. Championship feel like the second most important championship in that company. To his credit.
No. I've said 1,000 times, and actually, the show that I was just listening to on our YouTube, we're up to 25 podcasts, I believe now.
Nice.
Yeah, we got 25 on there. Yeah.
Podcast 37 is up, but that obviously is video because our audio didn't work that day. That was with Al. But anyway, I was listening to it, and again, I've said before, because when you said John wanted to work a full year in Japan, I'm not knocking John's Japanese work.
Yeah.
Because again, it's under the umbrella of New Japan, not the Indies of Japan.
Yeah.
So you're getting the best version of Moxley.
Of course.
Which is weird that he's okay working New Japan style. But then again, New Japan style is a lot more shoot because it is the Japanese strong style.
And it's a lot more brawler than it is full wrestling.
And I agree. But anyway,
So because Moxley has made that championship so important, and like we talked about a little bit earlier,
and Moxley's the 3rd United States champion because Kenny was the inaugural.
4th.
Okay, so it was Kenny, Juice, Moxley, and then who else had it in the middle?
I believe Juice got it back from him. Well, so maybe he is the 3rd.
He's the 3rd official person, but it's the 4th reign.
Yeah, so it's the 4th reign.
Yeah.
Because what's the name did not win the championship. Now that I think about it, Minoru Suzuki did not.
Right.
Which I guess is good for Americans because that means he would have to come live here and then beat everybody's butt.
Well, that's my thing. Is like,
yeah.
all these AEW fans who are excited about the exploding barbed wire match, folks. I would rather do exploding barbed wire than a shoot match.
Get
with
in a ring with 30
Suzuki.
minutes with Minoru Suzuki, who will torture you for 30 minutes.
Yes, he will.
But because Moxley has become such a big name, and they want to break into this country, Canada, as well, I get why they retired it. Because they're like, listen, Moxley has made this championship actually incredibly important in our country and in America where we're trying to get to.
And New Japan really, unlike what Vince is doing to create different levels, New Japan wants everything to feel special.
Yes.
Not that Vince's Intercontinental title isn't special, not the United States Championship doesn't have the history, but in Japan, you've got a situation
your phone's going on.
where it's just like in New Japan, they want the IWGP heavyweight title to be there, and they don't want 4 or 5 belts because they've got the heavyweights, they've got the... But again, the Japanese can separate the heavyweight division from the junior heavyweight much better than Americans can. whereas on NXT, you've got Karrion Kross, who just faced the Cruiserweight champion and was competitive, although I think Santos Escobar is just great in general, but that's another story.
Yeah.
But it's just, but people look at the Cruiserweight champion and why is Karrion Kross involved with that? Whereas in Japan, they separate heavyweight from junior heavyweight, I think, much better than say, America
does. But and also just like here in the States, they also do a lot of very good, heavyweight and light heavyweight slash
mixes.
Mixes. They actually might do them better than we get from the American companies here. Or even Impact, which I love. But to let you guys know, the X Division is not a cruiserweight division. It is an open division. You can almost consider the X Division championship like their Intercontinental Championship. It's that important.
I agree. 100%.
But so overall, it's a sad day. It stinks. Now, I'm looking forward to what the new championship's going to look like. Ibushi is facing a guy who is getting his first championship match, I believe, from Suzuki-gun. Why am I forgetting his name? My masked
Google
friend.
it quick.
But he's getting his first championship match. The way they set it up was really, really good because it was out of nowhere, but it was expected because him and Ibushi have had this long rivalry when they first started in New Japan. I do believe Ibushi will retain. And that's when they'll unveil the new championship is at that show, I believe, in a couple of weeks. I want to say it's Budokan. I might be wrong. It's a sad day, but I get why they did it. And also, this places more onus on John.
El Desperado.
Thank you. By the way, Spanish name, Japanese wrestler.
Yep. Very interesting.
Now, did he get that when he came out of the dojo, or did he get that from Excursion?
He got that in Excursion.
Okay.
Yep. I think he went to AAA.
Now, for those of you who always hear us say that, but we've never officially, I think you did it once, but you never went to Tune because it's a different topic. Excursion, they actually want them to go to other areas and
learn
figure out
different
the
styles.
style.
Yep. That way they have a style adaptable to them that they're comfortable
with. Well, because
with.
Okada once said his drop kick is from Mexico. His backbreaker, I think, was the United States.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Tombstone Pile Driver, obviously, from Taker.
Yep.
I mean, that's obviously where that's from. So, I mean, Okada's probably the best example, but Okada is so good, you forget that he took an excursion. You forget there was a time when Okada was a lion, a young lion. You forget there was a time he was in Impact, and as far as I'm concerned, Impact, I think I've even said that they screwed up with Okada. Okada was not the guy that he was then that he is now.
Yeah.
If he got his ass kicked in Impact back then, there's nothing wrong with that because then he comes back to Japan and he realizes what it means to be that low.
Yep.
And so he doesn't want to do it again, so he stays as an 8, 9, 10-time IWGP heavyweight champion.
One of the greatest of all time. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's a sad day, but it's also an intriguing day because we will see. They come up with really awesome designs for championships.
They do.
So I'm interested to see what it looks like.
That was one of my favorite looking belts was the IWGP heavyweight champion.
Oh, there were some beautiful belts.
Like it looked like a
definitely.
championship of a top champion. Like I say all the time, I hate to hate on the Universal Championship.
No, I get it.
But always having a color scheme sucks.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Which is why so there has been some rumor that maybe because people have been kind of going back and forth with Vince about bringing back Goldie.
Yeah.
Because of course he still has it.
Yes.
They don't have the original one anymore.
No.
Of course, since Ric Flair got that stolen from him all those years ago.
Well, but then there's rumors that Ric Flair didn't have it stolen from him. Ric Flair actually does have it.
Oh yeah,
that's what another rumor is.
I would almost believe that before I believe someone stole it from him.
Yeah, no,
because here's the deal.
His family's got it.
Well, because here's the deal. Ric Flair was very rarely around men in his heyday. He was mostly around the young women who were infatuated by the nature.
If you're taking a couple of hot ladies to Space Mountain every night, you might oversleep and somebody might creep in and take that championship.
Yeah.
But there's been talk that maybe Vince should bring that back as the Universal Championship. I would prefer like a kind of a semi design around the big Goldie.
Yeah.
Because to me, I got to give Joseph and Roman Reigns a lot of credit. Because when I used to see the Universal Championship, all I thought was Brock Lesnar takes it away for 6 months. Raw doesn't actually have a champion.
Right.
Now when I see it on SmackDown, I go, oh, that's probably WWE's top champion.
Oh yeah,
maybe we'll see. We got Bobby Lashley
on Raw
now, but
we'll
talk about that later. So overall, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It just sucks. It just sucks that they're taking the Intercontinental Championship away.
Well, I think
because it was going a lot of prestige.
Well, I think anytime you retire a belt that even in a short time has created its own legacy, I think anytime you retire something, it just kind of sucks. Because remember, the Cruiserweight Championship was retired when Vicky Guerrero took it off of Hornswoggle, which was sad. But I don't think that should have been retired to begin with because that was such a fun division to watch.
Yes.
And what's interesting is it had so many unique characters in it.
Yeah.
From Chavo Guerrero Jr. to Akira was there.
Young Eddie Guerrero in WCW.
Oh God. Ladies and gentlemen, a top 5 match of all time will be Halloween Havoc, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. You're never going to tell me that's ever going to fall out of that. You would have to have the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Shinsuke Nakamura in his prime in Japan.
It's a damn shame because I went and watched that match on Friday morning before I did my 14-hour stream, twitch.tv/TheBlackness89. Figured I'd plug myself real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
We'll do it again
I was
later.
watching that
You're
match.
going to do it 6 more times later in the show.
I was watching it on the network, and only probably 70% of the crowd was actually into it. And I'm like, well, that's a damn shame. They're watching excellency.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking back when Shinsuke was the IWGP.
Oh, I was talking about the cruiserweight match between Eddie and Rey. Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. But I know. But what I'm saying is, you have to go back to when Shinsuke made the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
And when Bryan Danielson was Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. Those now, yes, Shinsuke's a protege of Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
But those two at those two peaks together in a match
was phenomenal.
And they care. That is, you have to have like probably 4 or 5 of those for me to take Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Halloween Havoc out of my top 5 because that match had, and like you said, I feel bad, but then again, I feel like again that was Eric. He had the cruiserweight division, but he didn't know what. I honestly, call me crazy, I think Vince knew what to do with the cruiserweight division better than WCW. Call me crazy. He didn't have the stars that Eric had, but I think Vince did a better job.
He did a better job, but then Triple H took it to another level because he understood.
Exactly.
He understood. You know what? These smaller guys can put on stories and put on these incredible matches, which then forces Vince's hand. Austin Aries ruined his own shot, but that match with, I believe that was Pac.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Cedric and Mustafa Ali. My God, go watch it again. Phenomenal.
But we also have to remember is Vince at the time during the brand split was using SmackDown as a developmental area, so he didn't feel the cruiserweights belonged on Raw.
Yeah.
And then they just took it upon themselves to do what they do.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
and plus having Paul Heyman there after a certain point actually kind of helped that.
Oh, Paul's sitting there saying...
Paul said, this is one of the most entertaining things I get to put on every week.
Paul said, you're giving me the cruiserweights free and clear? All right, I ain't gonna bitch about that.
We'll have fun with that one, yes.
But, I mean, okay, so, Jesse, it's sad, but it adds more intrigue.
Because now it makes that U.S. championship so important. Even more so when he defends it in Japan.
Do you think that the U.S. title in Japan will be hurt once it starts going from Japanese wrestler to Japanese wrestler, or do you think they're going to still write it so that it's important?
I get a sense
it's not because here's the deal. Hopefully it's not just, we created the Gaijin title. Hopefully it becomes something that Minoru Suzuki, well, first of all, Minoru's going to say anything's important because that's just the character. But my point is this, is I would like to see Tanahashi get a shot with it. Seriously.
Oh, for sure.
If Tanahashi becomes the face of America in Japan, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I mean, when I think about it, just to get a year of him over here, like people, like you will flock to him. He's so charismatic and likable.
It's interesting because the episode that I was just listening to that I keep referring back to, that all that stuff. By the way, folks, we are going to be doing 6 weeks of AEW television during our 3 shows in 3 days on WrestleMania weekend. By Tuesday, we're not going to want to talk anywhere because we're going to be just
I thought we were gonna wait and announce it, but yes, honest to God, we are doing 3 shows.
We'll do an official announcement a little bit later in the show, but we're going to tease that. But because we'll expand on what those shows will be. But anyway, but no. So
be
so
baking
for me,
up a storm.
I was saying on the show,
some burgers too.
Yeah, on the show that I was just saying.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Tony Khan would be a god if he was able to get Hiroshi Tanahashi just on American TV in his ring.
Yeah.
To get Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace, in somebody else's ring on American soil. It's one thing for him to be in a New Japan ring on American soil. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But for him to go into another ring that doesn't say New Japan on American soil, I mean, the first guy to do that's going to be...
By the way, this once again, every time I say this, I like to preface it by saying this is another rumor.
Yep.
We don't know if this will become fact. This is a rumor.
Yep.
But one of the things that apparently has been said behind closed doors in interviews, interviewers from Tony Khan to interviewers, is that the only reason they haven't exchanged more talent is because of the lockdown situation.
Which is fine with me, but as far as I'm concerned, if you don't, and I'll say it, if you don't tease me for at least 2 months that you're bringing over Tanahashi and he just shows up, you blew it. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, so, okay, there is 2 different things in this world. There is the spoiler syndrome where you don't want spoilers. Yeah. It's going to ruin the movie. And then there's me, who, if you spoil it for me, I want to see it more. Okay, there's 2 groups of people in America right now. Those who saw Kong vs. Godzilla trailer and were disappointed that Mechagodzilla was shown, and me, who's like, holy shit, Mechagodzilla
is in the movie.
I'm in. We're good. But that's just my thing. Is like, I feel like Tanahashi being promoted for 8 weeks
would be huge.
Is bigger than him just showing. Because Kenta wants to show up once and boom, that's it.
Yeah.
The fans will be happy.
Yeah.
But if you tease me that Hiroshi Tanahashi, and again, I won't even care that much about the match because it's gonna be great because it's Tanahashi.
Yeah.
But the moment he wipes his feet and steps through the ropes in America, I'm just gonna be like,
that's huge.
We have
holy crap.
bridge.
I mean, I mean, we did get it once with Ring of Honor when they had to deal with Ring of Honor. But yeah, for them to
But that
promote
wasn't really
that.
network American television.
Well, no, that was
what
a
I'm saying
pay-per-view.
is, Tony Khan, if you're the guy who gets Hiroshi Tanahashi on a nationally televised show in prime time, dude, I'm still going to hate your booking, but I'm going to have no choice but to put you almost in God status.
I will say this, though. The only good thing about if that happens is it's going to be mostly New Japan booking.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are not going to let the Ace look bad.
No.
Okay, he could be the Booker of the Year officially if he gets that. But we'll give him that one.
Well, but to Jesse's point, is there anyone, and I'm serious about this, like, I mean, seriously, even above Okada, is there anyone that's been more protectedly booked than Tanahashi?
No.
Since he became the Ace.
No.
I mean, when he loses, it's a big deal.
Maybe Minoru Suzuki as their top heel for all these years.
Right, yeah.
No. But no. And like I said, Minoru was huge.
Okay.
Minoru was huge.
Okay, so I'm going to pose the question to you two. Bigger in their countries, and I'm serious, Tanahashi in Japan or Rey Mysterio in Mexico?
I'll throw a third one out, and I can give you the answer. So Rey Mysterio in Mexico.
Yep.
Tanahashi in Japan.
Okay.
Are you ready for this one?
You got to blow my mind.
You ready?
Yeah.
John Cena here.
Oh, shit.
I'm okay with that, but I want to point something out. John Cena became more of a cultural icon after his big run in WWE.
Damn, I should have used The Rock then. You shouldn't have told me that.
Fair enough.
No, The Rock, yeah.
No, seriously. Culturally to a country.
Yeah.
Tanahashi, Rey Mysterio right there, folks. I mean...
Ray might be a little bigger, like, because Ray could announce, I'm going to run for president of Mexico and probably win.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Without even knowing what his political background is.
There also might be more people in Mexico. I don't know.
Without a question.
There might be more people in the country of Mexico than Japan.
Actually, I think there's more people.
Pretty close.
I think the population in Japan is actually larger.
Yeah.
Really?
But yeah.
They pack them in like sardines over
Pretty
there.
much,
Holy shit.
Speaking of legends, so now that we're done talking about this, we might as well get into... You guys want to get into Spot Monkey, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We'll get there.
Wait. Let's wait for the response.
Leroy?
This is how I feel about AEW.
All right, so we'll get back to that. When we have more information on the belt.
Correct. Of course.
Yeah.
Like I said, that show's in a few weeks. I will get the date down.
Okay, cool.
And then I'll just kind of pop it into the show.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is how I feel about going in AEW. Some crickets.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it finally happens. Although I don't know how I feel about it. I know how Jesse feels about it. Leroy, I don't know if you saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, it was supposed to be at Revolution. It got changed due to a fractured arm not shoot. That was more TV. And then a real live pregnancy, and there was also inside the NBA involved. Nothing I'm saying is incorrect. I'm just trying I'm just trying to fathom through the river that got us to this point. Ladies and gentlemen, last Wednesday on Dynamite, the opening match. You couldn't even wait one segment and try to build it. The opening match,
and this,
was Cody Rhodes and From Yo Mama's Kitchen, Red Velvet, versus Jade Cargill making her AEW debut.
Correct.
Against four-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer, Shaquille O'Neal.
Correct.
And
that's all.
We're that excited about that one.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Leroy this question. Leroy, do you want Jesse or me to go first here?
I'm
going to make you make this decision because
I'm actually going to defend it. I'll volunteer. I'll go first.
Okay. All right.
There
Jesse,
we go.
Jesse,
I'll volunteer.
All right.
There we go. As tribute.
You don't know how many times I've actually said that. I'm not proud to say that I've said that to quite a lot of women, but I have.
Fair enough.
This match was a mess, but it was a good mess, and I'll explain.
A dirty mess?
So
let him go, Leroy.
Of course,
all right.
Shaq is not a professional wrestler.
No.
Clearly, so apparently something had the smoke, because they did smoke for his entrance.
If he was in this kind of shape in his NBA career, he might have actually played 6 years of dominance instead of 3.
Kobe, God rest his soul, probably would have won more than 5 championships, but that's something else entirely.
That's nor here nor there.
Oh, yeah.
Shaq. Anyway, but I'll give Shaq credit.
Yeah, Shaq got one first.
Actually, I give Cody credit.
Okay.
So he understands Shaq is really not a professional wrestler. Clearly, he's been working with him these last few weeks.
Well, Cody was calling the match. We all knew that.
Clearly.
Well, yes.
Clearly.
I would hope so.
When they were in the ring together, it was Cody kind of taking a big man beating. Cody, you're getting very Dolph Ziggler good at that, by the way. I got to give you a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting very, very Dolph Ziggler good at those beatings he takes.
Yes. It's better than the 3-minute and 10-second beatdown from Brody Lee. Cody just looked awkward in that beatdown. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. It was still a good angle, but
yeah.
But this is where the bad part of it gets away from me. Outside of the table spot, in the good part, Jade showed up. I think Jade showed up because if she would have came into this match and wouldn't have been any good, then that means you've been building her for 2 months. She was all hype. She now falls flat. She's got nothing. No matter what you think you want to do with her, anything like that, it dies immediately. She was very, very good. Now, there was some botches, but I don't actually blame her. I think I blame an over-eager but very, very good young Red Velvet. By the way, she's only been in the wrestling business for 3 years.
Right.
So she's still a little bit green to this, especially working on national television like this. That's why she's doing a lot of dark matches. That's how they try to get these people prepared.
I really didn't like how she runs, and I know that sounds strange, but she's
Red Velvet running the ropes.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
She runs as if she's trying to run a marathon. There wasn't a purpose to the run. Wrestling, when you run into the corner on someone, it has to be a little showy.
Yeah.
Not hokey, but showy.
Yeah.
And to her...
Would she have happy feet or no?
No. You know how, like, when... Okay, so if you watch...
So she basically runs like an athlete.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. But again, Bianca Belair, she gets what it means to go at someone in the corner. Red Velvet just started a full-on sprint as if she was on the track, and I'm like, it's not how you explode into the corner.
Yeah.
But that's a nitpick. That's a nitpick.
So like I said, when the two women were involved together in the match, there were a few botches here and there, but like I said, that to me that was more on Red Velvet. Still green. She's going to learn. She's going to get better. The big thing for her that I like a lot is her charisma. She has her character down, which, in this business is huge. It's huge because if no one knows what your character is and you don't know what it is, you can never get it over, so it won't matter.
I just hear Red Velvet and I think of, I love that cake.
Yeah.
And basically, a part of the character is revolved around. So, stir it up in the hood actually in black communities actually means cause trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
But for their marketing purpose and why she calls herself Red Velvet is the color, the thought of red cake.
Yeah.
The Red Velvet cake, things of that nature.
I thought she'd be like tasty like a cake then.
Bazinga!
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
I hope we're not paying for that.
we are not paying for that.
All right.
But I will say overall, this is really good because Jade Cargill gets the win. She looks good in the win. Yes, Shaq took the table bump. Good for him. By the way, I knew he was okay. I know AEW tried to do this drama thing because the way he tried to play dead. Once again, Shaq's not a wrestler.
Don't steal my mojo yet.
Okay.
Don't steal my mojo yet.
I'll let Zach kind of get into that more. But the way he tried to play dead was basically he tried to act like he was asleep. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was bad.
I saw a little outburst, out clip of that too, and I was like, "Really?"
Are you
I'm
done?
like, "Oh my god!"
Are you done?
So overall,
okay, you're done.
So Shaq wasn't the greatest, but he's not going to be. It's a celebrity match. They are usually not going to be very good, except if you're Stephen Amell and you actually give a shit about the business enough to go train for 7 months.
Pat McAfee.
And Pat McAfee
I'll get
as well.
Pat back.
There we go. Yeah.
And Jade McCargill was perfectly put over. For the most part, like I said, the botches were probably more on Red Velvet. So that's my defense of that part of the show. I'll defend the rest of it later. You go ahead. I will take a back seat.
Are we ready? I might use this.
Okay.
Because we don't have to use that. No, we don't. We don't beep out swear words here.
This match. God, I wanted to like it, but I hated it so much. This match was an embarrassment to the wrestling business. This match was an absolute farce.
Okay.
I was. It's just. I mean, Look.
By the way, we haven't even gotten to Revolution tonight.
No, we have not.
He hasn't seen Farce yet when we get to that main event.
Yeah. Anyway.
I read about.
So anyway,
yeah.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Look.
I'm gonna have to watch this match. That's it.
Look. First of all, Cody took some decent bumps. He is getting into territory where he's understanding how to work with big guys.
Yes.
That I'll give him. I don't even know how to be up because this whole match just left me being like, what in the hell has this devolved into? Jade Cargill did not look as bad as I expected. She was a little crisp on things. Bitch, stop flexing every fucking 5 seconds. I don't give a shit.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Every goddamn move exchange, she ended with a flex.
Yeah.
I get it. You're in shape. I get it. You have done great toning for this match. But look, Red Velvet overzealous, Happy Feet. I will give you that on the women's side. But Shaq, and this is where this is what bothers me about Shaq. He is the big Shaqness. He is the big cactus. He is Shaq Diesel.
Yeah.
Shaq has always been a funny guy.
Yeah.
Shaq was not taunting Cody in the sense of a big man. He was taunting Cody in, hey, we're doing this now. It's just it for the build it got was a joke. For the build it got was pathetic. And as far as I'm concerned, I just, like I said, I wanted to look at this through the eyes. And again, folks, for one of the first times, I have not listened to the review of the Cornette experience on this. I swear upon this show that is the one part of the experience I skipped for this very purpose. This is all natural, no repeats. And if I repeat what Jim said, I have not listened. Maybe I will. But
I have to listen to
as
him.
far as I'm concerned, Jade Cargill was hamming it up in a way that, sweetie, stop. Okay? Pull it back. Rein it in. You ain't a star. You are here because of Shaq. Even the freaking person you're in the ring with knows that. You might be something, but you ain't jack shit right now. You are the shit that I scrape off my shoe in the wrestling business. You were not cocky. You were more annoyance to Red Velvet. First of all, if you're gonna do a push-up, be a goddamn real fitness person and pull a Scott Steiner. Put your feet together. You spread your feet out and do push-ups like that. Any idiot can do that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. See, the ladies will get mad at me when I'm flexing, and they said, "Hey, you're not here for that. Just stop flexing."
But all I'm saying is, but it's just
trying to show off. It didn't work.
And then Jade out of nowhere. It's just and this is another problem I have more with AEW than with Jade.
Okay.
She gets a table.
It was a tables match?
No.
So
that's
what
my
the fuck?
freaking. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Okay, I'm up now. Typical.
I got it. I got him.
Typical AEW.
Pull,
Lazy ass booking. Let's turn around.
I poke Zach every once in a while and it works.
Look. Here's the deal. This is what bothers me. Jade Cargill brought the table out, but we all knew Shaq was going to take the bump.
But did we need the table?
No. But no.
Did we need the table, Jesse?
We didn't need it.
Let me get to this. First of all, you're doing it in front of the ref, and the ref ain't doing a damn thing to stop you.
No,
the refs in AEW are the most useless people in the wrestling business. End of freaking story.
They're reading the book, and they think that the tables are part of the match.
I think
that's what they think of.
Is, no. Okay, so
go ahead.
Let's let me get this. But the announcers, for the love of Christ, are sitting here trying to make me believe that that these two women are so personally. Bitch, you're a freaking replacement. I'm talking to you, Miss Cake. I'm talking to you, Betty Crocker. You're a replacement for the person that they wanted to have.
Hey, don't insult Betty Crocker, man.
Fair enough.
To be honest, actually, I'm happy it was Red Velvet.
No. I'm okay that it was Red Velvet over Brandy, but you're the replacement.
True.
You're freaking.
Unless I'm Red Velvet with my Brandy. How was JR? Was he like slobber knocker kind of?
No, that's no. I'm getting to that. That's the problem. JR is sitting here saying these two ladies are getting personal. What personal do you have? Red Velvet shows up in a goddamn interview segment backstage, and that's how she gets involved with Jade Cargill? There's nothing. Please, I swear to God, Mr. The Blackness, if you tell me it was on AEW Dark, I'm going to scream.
Well, push your mic away. It was on AEW Dark.
See, you should have walked dark. What the hell?
Fucking I'm out. Fuck it, I'm out. There's a Wii Fit board over here, and I'm out, all right? Like, screw this.
You know what? There have been, and this is the problem with AEW's booking of women. So there was a segment 2 weeks ago where but it was literally 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Where they did a quick interview with Red Velvet about Jade because it was after they showed the video of Jade working out.
Nobody can get 45 seconds of an interview out before somebody interrupts the interview.
I know.
For some strange reason, everything has to have an after angle.
I've always said my biggest problem with AEW is they're trying to put too much in 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's a reason SmackDown, to me, outside of Impact, is and maybe NXT at times, is the best show, American show I see every week. And that's because they don't try to put everything into 2 hours.
Was there an afterbirth?
So.
Yeah. Well, I still consider them American.
But to get back to this bullshit.
Okay.
What was the afterbirth? Was there an afterbirth of this match?
Yes, and I'll get to it. And Jesse can't even defend it.
Listen, it was a natural-born baby. Oh, wait.
Wait a minute. No, that's not an afterbirth.
After the match.
After the match.
Hold on. We're not done.
You can't talk about afterbirths. We'll get to it.
I'm not done with the match.
Go for it.
Oh, I thought you were there.
The ladies have this personal story that the only people that know are apparently the ones who watch Dark. Jesse from the episode again. I keep referring back because I think it was the first time you were on the show.
Yeah.
Folks, if they gave me more shit from Dark on their show, I don't care. But you don't even talk about Dark except for the results on the bottom.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, these two ladies who have this personal beef that nobody who watches Only Dynamite wants, and for some strange, by the way, I take time off at night on Wednesdays from work to watch NXT and Dynamite. I don't do it on Tuesdays because I don't have the ability to take all these nights off because that's the way my schedule works.
Dark
so
is
I don't
up.
have time
Dark is
for
up
Dark.
anyway because
I know it's up, but the fact is this.
Well, you can watch it anytime.
Right, but okay. Anyway, here's the deal. So the tables are up. And immediately, that's the focus of the commentators saying, they're trying to end it right here. Tony Schiavone, shut the fuck up, okay?
I do wish they would take him off for commentary.
To God, I don't freaking need you to try on this show. But anyway, then Shaq's going to take the bump because Shaq is obviously fake over. The one thing I hate is when people line up for spots and it's obvious. If Shaq was pacing a little more and not just standing right where the table was,
I agree.
Then I wouldn't have been as pissed.
I agree.
But Cody does some lame-ass bullshit jump over the top rope.
Shaq is 7'3". I mean,
7'1".
I don't think you could try to spear Shaq. That would have looked worse.
That's not what I'm saying. But it's a lazy cross-body spot, and that's supposed to be the spot of the match.
Yeah.
But let's forget the fact that, like I said, Red Velvet shouldn't have been in this spot, just like Jade Cargill should have been in the spot because they should have had some TV shows before this.
I agree.
But they didn't have it, so that you can't argue. Nobody's going to argue me on that.
I agree.
But then...
Which now scares me about Elevation, which we'll get into later.
But then Shaq goes through the table, and they didn't even have the smarts to pan back to Jade Cargill to the point where Leroy, and this will piss Leroy off because he hates moments like this, freaking Cody goes through the table with Shaq. The pieces are everywhere. The camera stays on them so long, you watch and you almost hear Cody grabbing Shaq by the head to make sure he's okay, and Shaq patting Cody on the back, saying, I'm good.
Here was worse. No, here's what it was. So here's what happened, Leroy. So they go through the table. You can kind of see Cody grip his arm around Shaq's head. You clearly see Shaq tap his back.
To say I'm okay.
To say I'm all right.
Okay.
But then sells death.
Didn't Shaq realize, just say, oh, I'm okay.
But here's the thing.
You can't
You can't even blame Shaq That's on Tony Khan and the production team.
I agree.
Like, you got to move away from that.
But my point is this, is that, again, from the shoddy production to the fact that Shaq, first of all, looked better than he did when he was in his playing days, to the point that Jade Cargill oversold the fuck out of everything she did. Bitch, just win the match, then you can flex. Don't flex every... Okay, Leroy, hold on. Every single thing that ended with Red Velvet, I'm talking from a collar elbow tie-up to a friggin' bounce off the rope to a jump spot to whatever, it all ended with a pose. It all ended with a bicep flex. Every single second. And then for some strange reason, she grabs her breast, lifts it up to show off the abs. Just show off the abs. What are we doing?
So I missed a great moment where a girl plays with her boobies on TV.
No! You did.
It wasn't that great?
She didn't actually play with her boobs. She just kind of did this.
Oh,
but it's just everything about it was that of a and this I will steal from Jim from past stuff about Jade.
I was getting excited to watch that now.
Everything looked like a newborn fucking baby deer trying to learn how to walk. She's not. I'm not saying Jade is not athletic. I'm not saying that she has somehow figured out how to do these things and not look bad, because if she had a better opponent, maybe it would have looked better.
Hell,
I'm
maybe if it was
that.
Brandon, it might have looked better. There's always that chance.
Yeah, but my point is this. For what you built, it was the opening match. The fuck was that about?
They could have put that in the middle.
I got to be honest.
How was it not the main event?
I got to be honest.
It's Cody.
I can tell you why this was the opening match.
Shaq.
To get it over with?
Because Shaq has other shit to do.
But it's just,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. From the visual of, you couldn't even get Shaq's co-hosts on Inside the NBA to fake that this was serious. They always made fun of it. They didn't push it the way they should have. And again, not that I think Shaq should have been anything but Shaq, but if Shaq is the heel in this scenario, why is he laughing about it? Why is he's basically Dikembe Mutomboing it, but Dikembe was always jokingly wagging the finger, even though it was Mutombo.
They got a new commercial with that too.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that what I'm trying to get people to understand is that Shaq was hamming it up when he was supposed to be the guy who was the giant. The giant was acting like a Jolly Green Giant as opposed to a giant. Mm-hmm. Now, Shaq had a decent power bomb. Cody took it well.
He did a little tribute to Brody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that, look, individual components of this were not as horse shit as I thought they were going to be. I will eat that. But the fact of the matter is as a whole, I sat there and I watched and I said to myself, this is an embarrassment to the wrestling business because it was a training match that should have happened in a warehouse, not on live television.
Now, I will still contest before we get to
the rest of Dynamite.
I can't even call it an afterbirth moment, and then the rest of Dynamite. I will contest.
Oh, I'm doing the afterbirth.
The flexing, annoying, but
it doesn't work unless you're Scott Steiner.
Thank you.
Well, even he didn't do it as much as she did.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't do it as much.
So
but that's why it works for Scott Steiner.
I cannot argue that with Zach. But what I will say is, because I took that out of my head. Because I'm assuming she was doing that because she was in the ring with Shaq. And so they just assumed, just ham it up a little bit.
Fair, whatever.
So.
She could have done it differently instead of.
Maybe.
There's other ways to do it.
So the afterbirth, before Jesse gets to his point, was she is at first happy she won her debut. Then she's concerned for Shaq, but she doesn't go check on him. She just says, help him. And the Doc, is Doc Samson? I believe?
Yeah.
Doc Samson's down there looking at him. Shaq has a face like he's trying not to laugh.
Because he was basically trying to play sleep.
What he should have done was the Doc should have whispered in his ear, roll over on your side and sell that you're still alive.
Yeah.
Don't just lay there like a freaking beanbag. and then Jade goes back to posing. Jade goes back to acting like she did everything in the match, when in reality, most of it was Cody and Shaq.
Yes.
The majority of the time in the match, I guarantee you, went to the guys. Jade had some...
Actually...
no, okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Actually, I think it was mostly the women.
Okay, yep.
It was mostly the women.
But the thing is just... But then she gets on the rope. But, okay, here is my number one concern, and this is something that Jim Cornette, I will argue you, should have been involved in because he would have beat this out of her in wrestling school. And sorry, folks, that's what I used. Is she got on the ropes, she would flex, check on Shaq, and then go back to fight. You can't do that over... You can't... Cocky, concerned, cocky, not all in the same moment.
Yeah.
No.
That was just such a visual that just boggles
Now,
my
to be
mind
fair to
that
me,
somebody didn't tell her, pick a lane and stay in it.
Now, to be fair to me,
Yes.
I did not see that part because after the match was over, I actually went to NXT.
Fair.
That was a good choice.
But anyway, no. So that bothered me.
Okay.
Then we turn around to the
So after the commercial break, we come back, and they're like, "Well, we're going to try to get an update on Shaq."
But the update.
Hold on,
It was,
because I'm going to be on your side here.
It was so,
This was actually horse shit.
Yeah.
So
First of all,
they take
the winner
3
of
minutes.
the match is going in an ambulance. What the fuck is that? Yes. Shaq.
What?
Okay.
Oh my.
No, hold on a second. Let me lay this out. Then you can give your thing because there's a certain way I need to lay this out.
Please help me.
Hold on. So Shaq is
Yes.
tied up on the stretcher. He goes into the ambulance. Then they pan away from it, go back to the live shot of the in-ring area, and that's when Excalibur or Jim, I forgot who it was, they were saying, because again, Tony Schiavone has once again, Tony Schiavone never did this much moving during any wrestling show he ever did. So Tony Schiavone is not a commentary, because he's in the back, which they showed him while Shaq's being put in the ambulance. That was wrong.
That was horrible. He should have been off camera.
Then they go to the live shot of in the ring. Or I guess in the arena, was next to the ring, inside Daly's place. Then, out of nowhere, after the door has been shut, which then they say, we'll get an update as soon as we can. It wasn't 4 seconds after the door was shut, and they say, we'll get an update as soon as we can, that it's like, oh, I guess we're getting it right now. In the middle of this broadcast, we're just like, oh, we've got it. We don't know where we're going to get it. Now we have it. The headsets are on a delay. Everyone knows this from live television. So they get this shit before they say it.
Yes.
That's what pissed me off. But then, let's...
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. Let us remember. We are not 5 seconds from the door being shut to now Tony Schiavone is in front of the ambulance door saying, I know this seems a little unorthodox, but we need to get a thing from Shaq. Sell me that he went through a table. He went into the ambulance, still unconscious, but you're going to get a word from Shaq? So then they open the door. Leroy, he's
Shaq's
gone.
gone.
He's not in the ambulance. 5 seconds.
What the? Is he part Undertaker?
I don't flippin' know.
Which means to
my
me, what they
God.
did was they
This
taped.
was the worst edited and the worst version
so
story right of Afterbirth they've ever had.
What they did was they taped Shaq going into the ambulance before they came back.
I
from
know!
commercial, and then they did the whole, oh, now we have an update. But Shaq, of course, was already
But
fucking
they
gone.
acted like it was live.
I know.
They were talking. Okay, here's the deal. If you want to put in the bottom of the
Holy.
screen exclusively during commercial break like NXT does all the
Yeah.
time, that's fine because there was no picture-in-picture of Shaq being loaded in. But they were talking over it as if it was a live shot. They were acting like this was live. I'm not bullshitting you. Go
Yeah.
back and watch it.
It was bad.
So what was the point of having an empty ambulance?
The fuck if I know. It's AEW.
All right. Did they have any...
Spot Monkey has turned into all placenta wrestling.
Did they say anything after that?
No! That ended the segment!
Yep.
What pissed me off the most was Excalibur even said, and I fucking quote, well, we'll try to follow up on this if we have anything. Guess what? Fucking another hour-and-a-half show had jack shit on it. We ignored it even happened. It was never mentioned again.
Even Bleacher Report, who has the pay-per-views, actually gave the men a D and the women a B+, or B-.
I'm okay with that.
So
Wow.
So what was next was basically a build-up because they're having a tag team battle royale.
Before we get to this,
Okay.
to another tag team battle royal, before we get to that, Leroy, that was the Afterbirth. Your fucking thoughts on that?
I'd take a bigger poop and I'd probably feel better. Oh my God.
It would probably be a better Afterbirth.
It probably would be.
I can't actually defend that. So, because
The match I'm with Jesse in was not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like it as much as you, but the Afterbirth killed everything.
Like I said, my big thing was because I ignored her flexing. Like I've gotten to learn to ignore certain things watching like the bad parts of Raw because the bad parts of Raw are really bad sometimes.
Yeah, I do that.
But I was like, okay, Is she going to perform well as far as being a wrestler and entertaining a crowd is concerned? And I thought for the most part, outside of the flexing,
I saw the
glimpses
green. I saw the green,
yes.
but it did not get as bad as I thought.
No, and I thought she was very good. She's gonna be a very good heel. But the problem is seeing this and then seeing the excellent women's final later on, which we'll get to.
Surprisingly, I actually like that.
Was excellent.
That was one of the better women's matches I've seen in AEW.
Pisses me off more with AEW and its women.
Anyway, Leroy, back to you. What? By the way, Jesse will confirm. Nothing I said was untrue. No. Nothing.
No.
I might have paraphrased what the commentator said a little bit, but nothing I said wasn't word for word what they booked.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that. I'm a little scared. No.
Not as scared as you will be with the street fight.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm so watching that.
I won't. I don't understand. Mm-hmm. What the hell? What? I was trying to look up to see, and maybe because
you had the results.
I didn't. No, this is what's happening. No, it's tonight.
That's the Revolution.
For Revolution.
Okay.
Revolution is tonight.
Yeah.
But I have everything about all the people, all the tag teams in the tag team. What is the point of somebody winning this?
But before
they'll be the new number one contenders.
But before we get to that,
I didn't see that.
But before we get to that, because I have a question. For
I
you,
have
Jesse.
a problem with who they have in there.
No. But Leroy, back to the afterbirth.
Yes.
Anything other than the shit comment, because it was bad.
I think if you haven't.
What
seen
else
it,
can you say? I mean, it's horseshit.
Watch it with your
kids.
Your kids will get great entertainment out of it because it gets really hokey at times.
Well, I like
angry as shit.
Okay, I like having my kids watch quality television.
That's fair.
So I'm not going to have them watch that.
That's fair.
They watch NXT with me and stuff.
That hurt a little bit.
Leroy's the parent who's going to use his Disney Plus account, not his kids, so they're allowed to watch Dumbo and the Aristocrats and Peter Pan.
Dumbo, I'm guessing, was not used on accident first.
No, they pulled. No.
No, I'm saying no. You used the name of the movie Dumbo when describing this match. That wasn't an accident.
That's an insult to the elephant.
Oh, okay.
I wish my ears were big enough so I could hear anything other than that match.
I love Disney Plus, all the classic card.
But what I'm saying is, Leroy, is the joke is, I'm sorry I have to explain it, but if you haven't heard, they've pulled the Aristocrats, they've pulled Dumbo, and they've pulled Peter Pan from the children accounts. The adults can still watch them, but from the children, it's the Dr. Seuss thing right now.
And because
where people
Disney is going back and trying to remove some of the stuff from back in the times where there was some racist stuff in there. You know, the birds and dumb. We'll get into that shit a different day.
Different day.
I think it's stupid, but I understand why they're doing it.
But
Disney.
anyway,
well, I'm glad you think it. I think it's stupid, and you think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I think
it's very dumb.
Yeah,
and we're the same but different, and we think it's stupid.
But anyway,
so the next match.
But anyway, back to okay. So hold on.
Okay.
For this tag team battle royal, because Leroy said he wanted to make.
Okay,
a point.
yeah. Go for it.
Before you get on your tirade about who's in it, why do they have to determine every number one contendership with a battle royal? Are they finally admitting they can't build a story between
because
two
your
tag
boys,
teams?
the Young Bucks, fucking suck at this. That's why.
Fair enough.
That's true.
They don't know how to write a story between two teams.
They have the second.
Fight for the. By the way, quick question, because they had a match later on the show that we'll talk about. Why the hell is FTR and Jurassic Express not the story to see who becomes the number one contenders? Why is it not that?
Because your boys, the Young Bucks, fucking suck at. Listen, and I hate to say that twice.
They ain't my boys.
But you got pictures with them. Those are your boys. I would have never paid for pictures with those idiots. What I will say,
they weren't idiots at the time because nobody allowed them to book.
Yeah, Cody, you might want to change your mind on that.
But now,
especially now that you have JJ Dillon and Tully there.
Yeah. But now to Leroy's point, Leroy. Okay,
go ahead.
Leroy, it might have gotten lost. What exactly is your issue with the battle royal?
Okay. Well, I printed out the matches for tonight for the pay-per-view,
and also Revolution after we got through Dynamite.
And also, I printed out the people that were involved. In the tag team. Okay. There are 3. I'm not counting 3 teams from the Dark Order.
Yes.
Yep.
Why?
Because they are. Because what they don't understand is the biggest mistake they made, and this was going to happen if Brody Lee passed away or not. This was a mistake they backed themselves into. You have put too many different type of personalities in the Dark Order that because you're going to push all of them, you have to still put Colt Cabana out there. You still have to put 10 out there. You have to go with -1. You have to go with Paige. You have to go with Uno and Grayson. The Dark Order has too many different... They're supposed to be this evil cult where they all believe the same shit, but you have too many different personalities in there. John Silver's in there. John Silver should not be in the Dark Order because he's clearly moved on past Dark Order in terms of his popularity grew past Dark Order, but they put him in there, so now he's stuck in there. Colt Cabana never belonged in the Dark Order because nobody who watches AEW, us included, believes that Colt Cabana was at risk of losing his house because we all know Colt makes plenty of money on the indie circuit.
Oh yeah,
we all knew that. So now you're calling your own fans stupid.
Well,
but the thing about it is that the Dark Order, and this is a very simple question, the Dark Order has too many people who have different ideas of what the Dark Order should be, and that was going to happen, Brody Lee or not.
So here's the corner they actually booked themselves into to piggyback off of you. First off, they don't know which one of these young guys, because Brody Lee was the perfect top guy.
He was the focus.
Obviously. He was going to be the perfect leader, the guy who was always in the heavyweight championship.
I didn't think he fit the look, but I agreed that he should have been the guy.
Well, I mean, the promos, the match, he would have been perfect. God rest your soul, man. Like I said, we wish you were still here. But now that he's gone,
yes,
there's only really 2 legit tag teams in Dark Order. John Silver and Alex Reynolds has always worked very well. Yeah. And Uno and Grayson. Uno
has impressed me.
Uno's very, very good.
I've actually become more of a fan of his work because I think he's...
And they should let Stu do some more single stuff on Dynamite, too, for people to see, because Stu is very good,
on
too.
Dark, you mean?
Well, they also had...
Well, Stu actually does a lot on Dark nowadays.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But they had Alan Angel and Preston Vance in the Dark. I'm like, why?
So AEW's in a really shit place, which is why they're probably putting a second show up. Because, one, they need to create another championship. Here's what I mean by that. They have to create some sort of, like, open weight championship.
Yes.
Because otherwise, there's just guys sitting. They probably have more guys sitting and catering, making more money than WWE guys right now.
Oh, they do.
Okay.
86 wrestlers, you see the same 20 every week.
Yeah.
So
even on Dark, you see...
Maybe the same 40?
As far as I'm concerned, and you and I have gone back and forth about this, if you have a segment running on Dark, because WWE did this with Velocity and Heat, you shouldn't be on Dynamite. I'm serious.
Yeah, no.
When you move to Dynamite, you shouldn't be on Dark because Dark is not where you should be.
Yeah.
Your focus should be on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But this, and I'm not saying developmentally. I'm just saying if your story's on Dark, stay on Dark.
So,
if your story moves to Dynamite, stay on Dynamite.
And I agree. So hopefully Elevation is going to be almost their official. Let's just call it SmackDown. I won't even call it SmackDown because SmackDown is way above their pay grades.
Can we say Velocity?
I'll say Thunder. Let's say WCW.
Don't
Thunder.
say that. Thunder. Don't say that.
Well, Thunder.
That's not a good thing to want to be.
Well, as far as like what Thunder
was a bad idea.
what Thunder should have been, which of course inspired Vince to make SmackDown.
That's fair.
So, and that is a second show. They need it. Because they only need one heavyweight champion. That's fine.
I agree.
The TNT Championship is perfect as a second championship.
Fine.
And I don't care that the tag team goes between both shows.
But now, hear me out. This is once again, we talked about the hypocrisy of AEW fan base hating on Vince for cutting everybody. This is more hypocrisy. You say WWE's got too many belts, but now you're sitting here, and again, I'm not saying you're the hypocrite. I'm saying they're the hypocrite.
I get what you mean.
Because you're right. Yeah. They need another belt.
Yeah.
See, the problem here is, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder here, no pun intended, but guys, you can't build a roster of 86 wrestlers just because you want to get your friends jobs. They eventually have to work.
Yes.
They eventually have to do something.
Yes.
Because even Tony Khan's still a smart businessman.
Yeah.
He just needs to stick to business, not sports.
Yes.
Because you can't do soccer, you can't do football, and you can't do wrestling. But the thing about it is, go ahead.
Well, no, and I understand everything, but with this tag team tournament, okay,
it's turmoil, but
it's fucking.
So
they left they left
Yeah,
two teams that I think need to be in there.
FTR and Jurassic Express.
No, Jurassic Express is in there.
They're in it.
FTR should have been in it, and I'm not saying it because they're from Minnesota, but Top Flight needs to be in here. They have...
He's right, because they've built Top Flight for the last month.
Yes.
How are they not on the pay-per-view?
They have the Gun Club. They have Varsity Blondes in there. Why aren't they in there too?
Here's what I'll defend on that.
Okay.
Here's what I'll defend on that. No. And to be fair to Top Flight, because Top Flight, your boys are good.
Yes.
And they could be on a couple of local shows that might be coming back.
Yeah.
And if they are, I'm going to be happy to not only go, but pay them as much money to meet them.
Oh, yes.
I like the young kids. I actually hope maybe we can get a segment with them. That'd be great.
Yeah.
They have built them on Dark and parts of Dynamite for a month, but they have yet to put them into the upper echelon of the tag team. Now,
they had a tag team title match.
Here's what I mean.
They did.
And that's because the Young Bucks suck at this. Now, let me get to the point.
Well, we do know that.
You can't have two different kinds of booking.
And that is fair. Seriously, I'm on you guys' side.
I know.
Should already be a top babyface team in this tag team division. The Young Bucks suck at this.
I agree that they're not ready for that spot, but...
Well, no, I don't even think it's that they're not ready for the spot, because their matches are a lot better.
That's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I bet you Paul Levesque is watching
Top Flight
and going, damn, if I can pry them away.
Here's my thing.
Oh, God, I'd love them in WWE.
Once again, it goes back to the word...
Them in NXT would be fucking phenomenal.
It goes back to the word that is not in the Spot Monkey Dictionary. Consistency.
No.
You're telling me that you and I have talked about they have the best tag team division in all of wrestling on talent alone.
Yeah.
But the booking is not good, because you can't tell me that Top Flight gets all these matches on Dark, all these matches on Dynamite, and then a pay-per-view that's not even your big pay-per-view, it's just another pay-per-view, comes along, and all of a sudden you're telling me that they don't even get in. I don't even care if they're the first team eliminated. They're not even in it?
Yeah, they deserve to be in it.
Well, because you also said FTR's not in it, too.
Yeah.
FTR is still one of the best heel tag teams.
There's a reason why. Because, again...
What do you think?
Leroy, this is Hogan and Warrior in a tag team. This is Hogan brought Warrior in to get the win, and now WCW has no idea what to do with Warrior, and they brought in FTR to give them the belts just so the Bucks could finally get the win, but they didn't build a story, so it was a dud. If there's ever been
the build-up was shit. I actually thought the match was really, really good.
It went too long.
It was a decent match, but yeah.
The build was horseshit, though.
It could have been a good match if it was 20 minutes, not 30.
I agree.
30 minutes made it go from good to decent. Walter and Ilya was 30 but felt like 20. This was 30 but felt like 40.
All right.
Now, back to my point. This, folks, for those of you that don't know, and this is not something anyone will dispute, go back and watch it. When Warrior got to WCW, everyone knew Hogan was in charge. Everyone knows that Hogan wasn't happy about, was it WrestleMania 7?
Yeah, I believe so.
He was not happy about WrestleMania 7.
7 or 8, I can't remember.
7, somewhere in that range. We all know that Hogan wasn't happy. We all know that. So we know that when Hogan got the chance and Warrior needed the money, he did.
Yeah, he did.
They brought him in. He got the win. But the problem is that you didn't sign a 4-date contract. You signed a yearly deal.
Yeah.
So now you have Warrior, and you have no idea what to do with him. Because I'm sorry, as blatantly stupid as AEW booking is, to put Sting and Warrior together in WCW made zero sense to that audience because they didn't know who the Blade Runners were.
No.
Mm-hmm.
It made zero sense. If Hawk and Animal at some point would have broken up and one of them had gone single, putting them back together at any point would have made sense.
Yes.
The Blade Runners was never an established team on the level of LOD.
I agree.
So, again, folks, they signed FTR because it was a big signing. It opened the forbidden door, according to Excalibur. But, guys, FTR, I know you were at a company that was kind of pimping you out to be a joke, but, guys, you are in a company that doesn't give a shit about you because they don't want you. They just wanted to bring. They should have signed FTR to a short-term deal, gotten their victory, and gotten out. But here's the problem: had they offered that, FTR would have said no because they would have known that you're only booking us to beat us.
And really, I don't think WWE is booking them as a joke. I mean, their merchandise sold well. They were still booked as a solid tag team. They were always in the title picture. I think for them, they felt a little slighted because in NXT they were the guys, and of course, New Day already existed by the time they got called up.
My problem with FTR, and this is the only issue I have with them, I think that they let that part of their ego get a little too high, a little too quick.
I agree.
When you move to a different show, you have to reestablish yourself in a different light. You can be the same team, but reestablish yourself, boys. And if that means you have to do a few moments with the Usos that are funny, who cares?
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. I don't give a rat's hairy behind what you do in the build-up of your matches. If you pull off the actual match, that's great. Now, yes, I've talked about... Now, yes, people are like, that's a hypocrite. You hate Spot Monkey build-ups. But, guys, there's a difference. They have no build-up. Here's the thing. If you...
I can't argue that.
If you have a few segments...
They need a little blue pill.
Yeah. If you have some segments with some itching powder, fine. That's okay, boys.
That's not a good thing to have.
Move on. But when the match happens, prove you're the best tag team in the world.
Put on a great match. Yep, exactly.
But guys, even Jim Cornette did comedy spots with the Midnight Express to build to the big money matches that they had with the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
But guys, and again, are they the best tag team in the world? Yes. Did they deserve what they got? Probably not.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. They were there for like 3 months and then they wanted out. Yeah. Boys, you needed to give the main roster more time. I know everyone hates that when NXT guys get called up, they just get flattened out. But you gotta give it time.
Yeah, you do.
And I hate to say it, folks, as big as Ricochet was on the Indies, when he got to this crowd, he's not the guy you spring roll or you spring to the top.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has to fight from underneath for a while.
Yeah.
He's a dusty idea. Now, when Damian Priest gets there, you build the boy because, my God, is he already ready to do everything.
And it's funny because some people think Ricochet just like, and I can tell you now, Ricochet is not being buried as much as you guys think he is.
No, he's not.
Like the last match he had, guys, that was a corking. Listen, no one gets a lot of time to fight on Raw. As far as matches in WWE.
I agree.
So let's just get that out the way.
Yeah.
But the match with AJ a couple weeks ago was a corking damn good 10-minute match.
You were in but you were in the ring with AJ Styles.
Now the problem
How is that getting buried?
Because people will say all he does is lose to AJ. Well, you probably should lose to AJ.
Who doesn't lose to AJ?
There's only a few people that don't lose to AJ.
It's AJ Styles. And don't give me this crap about the freaking chinless turtle dude. With Carmella, James Ellsworth, because here's the deal. AJ, number one, didn't care that James got a cheap one on him. But number two, it built
the story between him and
It built the story.
There we go.
AJ gets it. He got it. He didn't care.
Yeah.
But folks.
Did they build up for this pay-per-view?
Revolution?
On that show? Yeah.
Revolution?
Did they? Yeah. Did they? Really?
So the matches that have gotten the most build is your boy Sting, that street fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which apparently he went. Apparently our physicians here either suck, or in America, or apparently they are just, unless we pay them an ass amount of money, they will not do the medicine to fix you, because all he did was go to Germany and he got cleared. Seriously, just like Daniel Bryan had to go all over the world.
But
before
Daniel Bryan
WWE
actually got treatments.
True.
Sting just got cleared, from what I heard.
Sting went into physical training. So apparently he wears the shirt because apparently he's a bit skinnier now than what he used to be.
Yeah.
As far as his build is.
Yeah.
So he apparently, like I said, this is all rumor.
Yeah.
But apparently he wears a shirt because he doesn't feel he looks comfortable in the body,
which is fine. He's older.
But apparently he's actually healthy to take bumps. I just wish he wasn't taking them from Brian Cage. That is a different story from another time.
If we ever get, because
I want that interview.
Well, no. We might actually get it because here's the deal. Our boy Super Beast, in case you guys haven't been checking your Facebook, he is now going to be opening his own not only training facility, but they're going to run shows out of Las Vegas. Super Beast is good friends with Brian Cage.
That's true.
Very good friends.
So we're making a trip to Vegas.
Might as well. But
I'll send my kids somewhere and I'll go to Vegas.
I've reached out to Super Beast. He wants to wait until the facility's a little more up and running.
Okay.
But he's more than willing to work with us. We will obviously promote to anyone out there who wants to be a wrestler. But I'll say this, and we're not promoting him yet, but I'll say this much. He's already put out there and said, this is not a social club. Don't come here if you ain't about to bleed for it.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I've learned about knowing Super Beast is he is that guy that says, if you ain't farther in the wrestling business, that's on your damn shoulders. That ain't on anybody else's.
And he puts on a damn good show.
He does.
That's true.
Damn.
He's already on weekly television down there in Mexico. He's huge.
Oh,
in
Super
Mexico.
Beast is amazing.
Oh,
Bloodsport, both.
I have no issue with Super Beast.
The last two Bloodsports were phenomenal.
Great in the ring, and then sitting out.
Brian Cage is a different story as a wrestler.
Talking to him outside, the ring, he's a real nice guy.
We'll get there. But anyway.
So,
him and Funny Bone.
So as far as the build-up, so that tag match
has been getting a lot of build-up, but let's be honest, it's been mostly Taz.
I don't know.
Well,
so the last couple weeks hasn't been too bad, because Sting has actually gone out and done his moveset a little bit.
But you also got to remember, folks, Vince probably wasn't going to do that much with Stinger, because guess what?
Here's what pissed me off, though.
Because guess what?
This is what will. I don't mean to cut you off, but this will always piss me off. Why would his first match be against Triple H, and why would you make it about WCW versus WWE? And then why give Triple H the win? Triple H? It was set. He didn't need it.
I defended on the show that art imitates life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, WWE beats WCW. Basically, is
but see,
which yes, he did. He did.
But CJ, no, I'm not arguing that he did. What I'm saying is here's the deal, folks. What else was the problem? Is not what Vince did. The problem is what happened before he got there. Not TNA. The problem is...
Sting did wait too damn long to go.
He had his reasons.
He had his reasons.
Why. We're not going to go into the story.
Yeah, he did,
But here's the deal. The problem is the audience. The only thing the audience knew, and it's not Vince's fault, the only thing the audience knew was that Sting was the last holdout of a forgotten war. That is not hyperbole. That is fact.
True.
That is, Vince gave us the only story that, let's be honest, made sense for bringing in Sting at that point in his career. If Sting comes in for the Invasion, he gets a chance to do what the rest of the Invasion guys did, which was work their way, sort of flank their way into the WWE locker room. The problem
Except for poor DDP.
Right. The problem with the Sting in WWE was this. I don't think Vince was going to do much, not because Vince didn't believe in Steve, but because Vince knew, just like with the Big Show situation, you're not 30, you're not 20, you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be fair. Vince doesn't do shit with anyone who's 20 anymore if you're not a Mysterio kid or look like Brock Lesnar. So that's one. And that's okay.
Dominic, in my opinion, would be fine if he was in NXT.
And
Dominic should go to NXT.
He should be.
In all honesty.
And Brock is obviously always going to be an outlier because
I mean, so the kid that they're talking about, who's like a former offensive lineman or something,
Parker Burter. Yeah.
He's going to get he's only 25. He's going to get a push. He looks huge. Vince loves that. But otherwise, like I said, I've always agreed that Vince nowadays, I get why he waits until you're 30, and I know people think there's an age problem there.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Lashley, 44, won the championship finally.
We'll get to that.
And we'll get to that. But what I'm trying to put overall as far as the Sting thing is that he understands, a lot of these guys go to the indies.
Yeah.
They build a name. That actually helps me in a sense because, either you can change the name when you come here, or if your name is really, really huge, you keep it, but we make a little money off, off of you on the side.
Right.
And then, we'll try to get you a run before your time's up.
You know what? It's interesting. I don't even think it's a money thing. And hear me out. There's certain people that you just can't bring in and change their shtick. You can't. Samoa Joe, obviously. Everyone knew that was Joe. John Morrison could become John Morrison over Johnny Nitro because he is Johnny Gimmick. That's been John's thing from day one.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you can't bring in Sting and people not know who it is.
Well, yeah. Which is, like I said, I think before the injury he was going to get a WWE Championship run.
But my point is this. I don't blame...
Which would have been great. I wish it would have been
it would have been phenomenal. But the thing is that, folks, Vince ultimately has to save people from themselves. That is the one thing he'll never get credit for. He probably looked at Steve and he was just like, you didn't get the surgery, which probably would have ended it all.
Yeah.
Vince will take guys and get them out as on top as he can.
Yeah.
Putting him in the Hall of Fame at the time that he did, Sting seemed ready.
Yeah.
But then comes the years that Flair had, that Foley's had, where you just gotta go back.
Yeah.
You want to do it again. There are very few guys who walk away and they're just at peace with it. They're good. They can go home. They don't need it anymore. The problem is that Vince got the last bit of, in my opinion, the real stinger out of him for the Hall of Fame. He got what he needed, and then Sting got the bug and didn't want a legend contract. He wanted to do it live. So this is not a Vince thing. This is not even a money thing. This is a situation where I think at the end of the day, Sting, Steve Broden, wanted to do it again. He felt like the run could have been better, and he's doing it not because of anything other than injury. Was the first story a bit weird? Yes, but remember, when Sting enters WWE, and screw any fan that's going to say this, you are going to go back to Surfer Sting. You're going back to WCW. You don't care about TNA. As much as you might have loved this TNA run, you don't care about TNA.
Well, his best part of TNA was his Joker run, but that
one of the best gimmicks in years.
Yeah.
But my point is this. Vince, again, what's a good idea? What's a bad idea? What's a Russo idea? What's a literally any other human being on the planet idea?
I was wondering where you're going with that
one. What is going to stick against the wall?
Yeah.
I can't bring in Sting and not acknowledge what happened 20 years ago. I can't, because it's not possible for the audience not to think about it.
True.
The audience, whether they like the end result with Seth or not, the Triple H ending was exactly what they wanted. It was exactly what you were hoping, because you wanted it 20 years ago. You had to wait 20 years, but you got what you wanted. Just because Vince gave it to you. We talked about this with Al, and how Mayweather waited and waited and waited until the fight made more money. I think Vince made more money off of Sting 20 years later than if he'd brought him in then. Leroy, am I wrong?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a big money one there.
Well, then again, I think about it. I don't know. Because, I mean, him personally waiting as well for his reasons might have been a good thing, too. Because WWE's roster, especially between 2002 and 2010, was stacked. I mean, they had an 8-year run.
He said he didn't know what they would do with him because of what they did with Booker. But again, Booker's always been a guy who, and again, this is all from Booker's documentary, because of his past, he knew he was going to have to work 10 times harder. But that was just Booker's mentality. That's who Booker was as a person. I'm not saying Vince held his past against him. I'm saying that Booker's whole demeanor from WCW on was to fight to become relevant.
Though
Am I wrong?
I will say,
true.
I will say though, Booker should have won at WrestleMania.
No. Totally agree. Not denying that.
You were like 8 months in already. Booker probably should have won at WrestleMania.
Not denying that. But remember, Vince has to do what's best for the story that he's got.
Well, that to me will always be a terrible.
Agreed.
Terrible. Because then he had to wait.
I was talking about Sting, not Booker.
Oh yeah. So now back to where the builds are. So Sting, the fucking heavyweight championship fight, it does have a build.
It's been sci-fi theater bad Tokyo studio build.
It's gonna be a fucking mess, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be an absolute nightmare.
Should we go down the card for tonight?
Before we get to that, Jesse, who was the Japanese wrestler who made an appearance during the build-up? The originator of the match.
Big credit to Tony. My God, get yourself some bookers outside of Cody Rhodes, please.
Or yourself.
Well, he's actually been taking a back seat apparently.
Good.
But what he does is he promotes what they do, and that's fine. He should.
Again, if he wants to be the promoter of the year, I'll give it to you because you took on Vince convincingly. But bro, you ain't a booker. But anyway,
yes,
back to Jesse's point.
So
who was it?
Tushi Nuno, I think. Yeah. So he's a Japanese deathmatch legend. You can find it on YouTube, and thank God for Tony Khan in this sense, since he had him come do an interview.
Yep.
To high. By the way, the best promotion of this match so far. By the way, to have that legend, the 1994 match between him and Terry Funk has been on YouTube for like 7 years.
I've seen it 4 times.
It's now over 1 million views because of Tony Khan promoting it. And I appreciate that because I know a lot of people don't know who he is.
Right.
And you should look into his career. He's astonishingly great.
And I'm putting a pin in this because we're going to take the pin out as soon as Leela gets to the match. But let's go down the card, shall we? We're not going over the rest of Dynamite because it was a blast show.
I actually enjoy. So I'll get to the highlights really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do like the build for Matt Hardy versus Hangman Page.
That's been decent.
And that's just because I think Matt gets creative control over his own shit, and so it works really, really well. And by the way, Page will probably be champion at least 4 months down the line. He's finally getting to the spot. So in the story with him in the Dark Order, it still works very well.
Yeah, no, it's
but you have to watch all 3 things, and if you don't want to,
FTR,
I don't think you're lost anymore because they've done a better job on Dynamite with it.
Yeah, FTR with Tully returning to the ring with J.J. Dillon versus Jurassic
teasing
Express.
a four horseman reunion.
So
apparently they have been fighting for trademark with that for the last 5 months apparently. So
rumor has been put out, and again, 100% rumor. The 4th member will be Nick Aldis.
I hope so.
I have seen that too.
That would be great.
But he has also stated that he didn't want to work for anybody else because he's the champ.
I don't think he said that. What I think he said is that this is the real 10 pounds.
Well, his whole thing about AEW is he will only go and do the partnership thing if it fits him.
Yeah.
This would fit him.
Yeah. Yes, I would.
Because if they want to do a thing where
he'd obviously be the Flair of the group.
Well, of course,
without a doubt.
Yes.
There's already some beef between him and Cody, of course, as far kayfabe wise.
Yeah.
So actually, it would actually work out for him well.
I agree.
We get him back on television because Nick Aldis is phenomenal.
You would also finally get a real looking champion out there.
Yes, you would.
Because as far as I'm concerned, Moxley looked a little too deathmatchy for world title, and Kenny looks like Kenny. And again, the problem with me and Kenny and him trying to look the part, he looked the part when Okada made him look good in the ring. He looked the part when he had Bullet Club behind him. But when it's just him and the Good Brothers, he looks like the old Super Junior that was brought into Bullet Club, who eventually took over. That's my only problem.
All right.
Visually, not anything else.
And then the other thing was the final between Ryo Mizunami and you know what? Nyla Rose to me in the last 6 months has been a revelation. I did not know she was this damn good.
Now you see why I said it should have been her and Britt Baker for the first 6 months. Of
Holy shit!
Thank you, Leroy.
Yes.
Right? I said from our first show where we talked about AEW.
Yeah.
I said from the first time we talked about AEW, don't care that she's transgender. Don't care. If the women in the locker room are cool,
yeah,
that's
they're
good.
cool with it.
But here's the deal, folks. She is your best heel.
Yes.
She is the best thing you have in that division, bar none. And she cut a great promo on Kenny, and they did nothing with it. She cut a great promo on every other woman in the division. They did nothing with it. Kenny, you had in your hands someone that I think if Vince brought her in, and
she would be I mean, they call her the native beast in AEW.
Yeah,
she would be a beast of a Raw Women's Champion, probably.
But like I said, I don't know if
because she's everything that Nia Jax is not.
Right, right. But I'll say this, and I don't blame Vince for not being ready for this. I don't know how well, because again, it's the old syndrome of when you're the big dog, it's harder to do things that are outside the mainstream. I don't know if transgender works in WWE yet. Nothing against Vince. I don't know if the culture is ready.
I've always said the only way to find out is to do it. Because either you take a backlash, you're going to get more backlash, or you're going to get more respect and love for actually doing
Which
so.
I think Paul might do more.
Which Paul Heyman would do.
No. Paul Levesque. Both.
Yeah. If she was in NXT, she would probably be champion right now.
Yeah.
Because he would be like, well, I don't give a shit. The women here are cool with it. So if you don't like it, then don't watch NXT. I don't give a shit. But
however, I'll say this: nothing against Nyla. This is me not defending WWE. This is me defending Nyla. Your best place is not in WWE because all of their women's divisions, all three, they're established enough.
They're very good too.
To where I don't think Nyla is needed.
Raw isn't booked very well, but its division is very good.
It's stacked.
But I will
see what happens when Rhea gets there. Honestly.
And here's the other thing, and I got to piggy bank off you again.
Yeah.
Kenny, you're a fuck up. You wanted your girlfriend to be this huge star, but you already had a huge star. And like the last 6 months, I have realized, holy shit, Nyla Rose deserves a place at the top of this women's division.
And
she should be.
And Vicky's great.
And by the way, she was back finally this week.
Yes.
So I'm glad to see that she's healthy.
Yep. Vicky's back.
Nyla, and she took the L here, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I'm starting to think they're actually going to take this thing the fuck off of Sheeta and try to probably rebuild Sheeta, and they should.
I don't like it only because I am now forced to ask the question to Mr. Omega. If not when you first debut, then when? If not now when she is clearly your top women heel, then when? When do you pull the trigger on a Nyla Rose?
I will say this though about
when
I will defend this part.
Okay.
Because with their fan base, the Joshi wrestler is more popular.
Agreed.
It's just fact.
Agreed.
Most of their hardcore fan base are Stardom, and I have no problem with that. I like Stardom. Actually, I've been trying to watch more Stardom because it's actually very, very good. The Japanese women over there actually have a different style than the men. So like it takes you a couple shows to get into it, but once you get into it, you're like, okay, I'm enjoying myself. Because you kind of grew up watching a lot of the late '80s wrestling, where it was larger than life characters. That's what they do over there in Stardom.
Okay,
it's very, very cool. I will say this though about Nyla not winning. It makes the fact that she's still that major of a threat even more major.
My only
if they do it right.
That's my point. My only issue is
yes, they have to do it right.
I want to sit down and I want to ask Kenny. Okay, you gave it to Riho. Fine.
It didn't work.
It didn't work, Kenny. You gave it to Hikaru. It's been a dud. Sorry,
it hasn't worked.
Nothing against the in-ring work of Hikaru.
No, she's been great.
But she's not a championship personality.
And thank God it wasn't Penelope Ford next. I would have been pissed.
Sorry, folks, but I hate to say it. The personality of a champion will always be judged, men or women. It's going to be judged by Ric Flair. Sorry, that's a champion.
Triple H, The Rock,
but Triple
Trish
H
Stratus.
can't. But they all stole from Flair. Nothing against the original Nature Boy. Nothing against Superstar Billy Graham.
The Rock stole from Flair?
Of course. Rock said it. It's Ric Flair.
I mean, yeah.
Ric Flair.
He borrowed some of the personality, but I don't know if steal is the word.
No. Let me point this out. Ric Flair is the quote-unquote Johnny B. Good writer, our wonderful favorite guitar hero, the original.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
Johnny B. Good's the song, the writer of it. One of my all-time favorites. It escapes me right now.
Johnny, go.
It'll
come to me as we go. I'm the musician here. I should know this.
I know. It's really sad. And he's one of my favorites. Oh, sorry.
Richard.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck Berry.
I apologize to anyone out there.
Black rock and roller. I should have fucking knew that.
Anyway,
I'm ashamed.
But
Continue.
no. Ric Flair is the Chuck Berry of pro wrestling in the sense that the modern day, you can't do anything without Ric Flair having already done it. It was just not on national TV.
True.
Chuck Berry was not, obviously because of the black thing. Chuck, and really being deep south is what Chuck Berry was.
Yeah.
You can't play anything on the guitar that Chuck Berry didn't already think about. AC/DC, one of the most successful bands of all time, they'll tell you, for us, it was Chuck Berry. It wasn't Black Sabbath, it was Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
The duck walk that Angus does, that's Chuck Berry. He says it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, Ric Flair is the pinnacle of being a champion. And Asuka steals the idea of, I'm just going to be me, because that's what Rick was.
Yeah.
And people say, well, now you're grassing up. No, I'm not. Because if you look at Asuka, they don't give her subtitles.
Nope.
Ric Flair, a lot of times, would just go off on those tangents and didn't need subtitles. But it's just, folks, but anyway, back to what we're saying. Hikaru Shida's been a dud.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that Hikaru Shida has also, and again, it's not all her fault, it's more Kenny, because
by the way, because she speaks good English.
Right, no, she does. She shouldn't have been in the crowd ever.
No.
That was not a thing. Not holding the belt. And if she was, she should have been looking more like Britt Baker, not in a heel sense, but in the sense of, you're the champion.
Yeah.
Not just an average girl at ringside. So anyway, no, I just want to ask Kenny, when is the right time to take advantage of the best thing you have going? And sadly, he'll look at me and say, I made her champion. You took it off her immediately to give it back to a less charismatic version of your girlfriend.
Yeah.
End of story.
A better wrestler than your girlfriend, but definitely less charismatic.
End of story. Don't at me, Kenny. But now...
Hell, really, the time to take it off of Shida to give these women this tournament, because they already built someone a little bit, was Abaddon.
Yep.
They should have did it. Because funny enough, while it was only like a month or two before they had the championship match, that was a good build.
Abaddon was the best build they had in the women's
division.
End of story. It was.
The creepy factor, all that shit. Yes, I know I'm the horror guy here. I love that kind of shit. I was big on The Undertaker. I was big on
I don't
Kane.
mind horror. I enjoy good horror.
I love the
But I enjoy the original Friday the 13th, not the remake, because here's the deal. You're trying harder with CGI than they did back in the 80s when they didn't have it.
So it's
psychological thriller versus actual slasher thriller.
Abaddon was one of the best things you have. Because of you, and to give them credit, because really, they had the one match like a year and a half ago when she was on Dynamite, when she first lost to Shida.
Yeah.
But her character was so fucking cool that everyone was like, yo, who the fuck is that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And started following her on Twitter, following her matches in Colorado.
Yeah.
Now she's doing her own build, just being her character. By the way, give her credit, in MJF, they live the character. Like, they don't kill kayfabe.
And now
you beat her.
And now
and Rio is great. And that's because I watched Stardom. Ryu Mazunani, not Riho.
Yeah.
But I know about her, and maybe your fan base does, because of course we watch Stardom. But if you're trying to get a wider audience,
in America,
they don't know who the fuck she is.
In America, Nyla Rose would be more marketable than Rihu.
Yes, even as a heel.
Yes. Now, to transition from the awful but still okay with the final booking of, we'll come back. Jesse and I will discuss this once we see where Nyla goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not wasted. No.
There is a really good fatal four. There is a really good fatal four-way tonight.
Now,
Yes.
we have to get to my favorite, and by favorite I mean please stick a fork in me so I can't see it anymore. the press conference of the Inner Circle.
Oh, yeah.
This was...
What's the point of that one?
Oh, let me explain.
Oh, God.
First and foremost, you bring in real, actual reporters to ask them questions. The first one was about Sammy Guevara, which was an immediate build-in, which was MJF made the best he could out of it because he said, "Really, whatever chant." He was okay.
They were chanting the name of the reporter.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Really, we're getting that reporter's name as a chant?"
Yeah. So he did the best, but then
MJF would be great in WWE. We're gonna get to the line that Young Bucks used, but yeah. But then, oh my ever-loving God, this was great for a heel situation. I was very displeased, though, that again, Jericho comes out, and why is the audience singing Judas and then booing him when the song starts? Stop! Enough!
They love the song, and then they hate him.
Do you know what, though? To be fair,
Jericho's hamming it up the whole damn. But even the wrestlers are doing it.
To be fair.
No, to be fair.
There is a TBF here.
Okay, all right.
So I'm not sure how much of progress you've actually watched in the past.
I've watched a decent amount of progress.
So British audiences do this shit all the time. So they did it with Walter. Because, they sing the song.
American audience.
And then when it's over, they boo the shit out of Walter. It's weird, but a lot of that shit actually comes from the Britain audience. I don't know why. They just really get into the shows.
But the wrestlers shouldn't be doing it. If the audience wants to, I don't care.
But when
everyone at ringside, be in character.
But they're not in character. They're not. When they're in the audience, they're just the fucking audience. They don't even matter. By the way, which goes back to the Shaq match, why the fuck is the Gun Club getting involved? That was also stupid.
That was the weirdest thing in the world. Why were they involved? Why was the Gun Club involved? Why
was that spot put in there? That was stupid.
I don't know.
Because now that goes.
I forgot about it. It was so
because as soon as you brought up because I'm like, no, when they're in the audience, they're supposed to be the fucking audience. One part is face, the other part is heel. The heel people chill, the heel people, but they boo the face. They're trying to get this authentic thing that they'll never actually get from their own audience.
So anyway, Leroy.
Yes.
The moment that I was building to. It's time for the Bucks. Because they have to be on the show.
Okay, can I cut you off real quick?
Yes, you may.
I'm going to probably partially agree with whatever problem you have. The only problem with me agreeing is this was the best fucking promo Matt Jackson's ever done.
The bar's not high. Anyway.
Unfortunately, that is true.
So, Leroy.
Yes.
Number one, they come out to the ramp. Because they made fun of big, fat Papa Buck with the worst blood spot I ever saw.
With the jelly.
I also want to point something out, America. They edited those still photos because that blood was not that dark.
Yeah.
On the original. Go back and watch the show, and then go back and compare the still photos. That blood, when it was finally on his face or it was on the truck, was not that bloody or dark.
No.
It was faker than what they edited.
Yeah.
That is edited.
I agree.
And
that was horse shit.
But anyway, so they come out, and Matt, was it Matt that had the mic?
Yep.
Okay, Matt. I'm sorry.
He's actually the older brother. I didn't know that until this show.
Yeah.
Because he's shorter and he pisses me off more.
Here's the deal.
I actually like Nick.
Here's the deal. Matt, first of all, dude, I get it. You want to be religious. Take the earring out. It doesn't fit you. He's got the cross that doesn't have a string. It's just the cross that's like tied right to the
it's the old school Shawn Michaels look, basically.
Yeah, it's the old school Shawn Michaels look. But anyway, here's the problem. He comes out. And while, yes, he gives a sort of heartfelt interview.
Bleacher Report, you should be ashamed of yourself for giving this segment an A, but continue.
Yeah, but anyway, here's the deal, Leroy. He comes out, and he tells a story about their papa. First of all, him trying to act like he's pissed, because I know he doesn't give a shit, is one of the most embarrassing things in the wrestling business. Fuck you, Matt. Please at me. That's the only time I'll say please at me. But anyway, he comes out, and it's like, look, you want to tell a story about your dad giving you the best life he could? Dude, it was so fake. It was so rehearsed.
He
sat there and said, Our dad did for us what your father probably couldn't have done. When we couldn't go to college, he, with his own 2 bare hands, built us a wrestling ring in the back, like blah, 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 blah,
so
blah.
we disagree here, and I'll explain what we disagree on.
No. I still agree it's the best interview he's done.
No. Here,
but God.
So I like the content of it. I actually thought it was semi-heartfelt because it is their dad. Like I think it would be, unless you're Charlotte Flair, who apparently is now taking acting classes.
The content was great, but here's the deal. Okay, I want to say
because
this.
everything he actually said was true.
True, I agree. But here's the deal.
Probably not for their dad's inspiration, there would be no AEW, which would be
deal.
terrible for you and Jim Cornette.
But here's the deal.
No, it wouldn't be terrible. I
said for him and Jim Cornette.
No.
Oh,
you wouldn't care.
No.
It wouldn't be terrible for me either.
No. I would love to talk about good wrestling, but
there you go. See, that's why it's a good thing.
But 2020 is a thing. Anyway.
No, yeah.
But here's the deal. No, the content is a brilliant idea to work off of, but guys, thesaurus, writing, figuring out the best way to deliver. Guys.
He said thesaurus, my
Thesaurus, that's a big word, and they probably don't know what that
means.
means.
My point is this. You could have delivered it with less of the kid shit.
Well, he could have delivered it with
saying.
He could have delivered it with less anger and more like go do what Charlotte did, even though it did not work because but the segment with her and her dad last week, I thought was fucking horrible.
Right, I agree.
But
it was.
But I will say this: if it was delivered with more emotion like that was, which was sadness, it actually would have worked better. And then turn it into anger.
My problem was literally this: you can tell a story, but there's different ways to tell a story.
Yeah.
In the sense that, guys, I get it. You were young kids. You couldn't go to college. All that, but you need,
and their dad did build the ring for them, which is why they.
But here's the deal. You need to deliver it in a way that comes off as a tough guy feel. This was not the time for
I agree.
a childhood memoir relive.
Yeah.
This was a moment to make them understand that we are here and we built this because he built that. Just saying that is a better promo than sitting there and saying with his own 2 hands he built a wrestling ring. All you had to say was we couldn't go to college, we wanted to be wrestlers, so our dad took it upon himself to build all the equipment that we needed to become what we are. And we built this because he built that. Is that not better than sitting there and saying he built a wrestling ring with his own 2 hands? I agree. It was too much detail. How's that?
I agree.
Or
it
they
was
go
too much. Okay, you know what? No, better idea. Hold on.
Here, but
it was too much like an excerpt from the book as opposed to a wrestling promo.
I agree.
That was my only issue.
Or they whispered, "If he builds it, we will win."
No, that would have been horseshit. It actually might have been worse than how the other one actually came out.
It's referring to a better, real good movie.
And then,
if you build
and
it,
then what bothered me the most was the afterbirth of the segment.
It wasn't needed
because
it's AEW. It's needed.
The double table spot made no sense because here's why. We already know it's not even that hard to see. I don't need an Aztec sundial to figure it out, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Good Brothers will eventually fuck over the Young Bucks.
Yes.
Why are we pretending that these two are helping the Bucks as much? And by the way, we didn't even talk about when the Bucks put Daddy Buck in the ambulance.
The Good Brothers
went to the hospital, not the Bucks.
Actually,
it's their dad.
No.
It
was Nick
bad.
and the Good Brothers.
But
Matt didn't go. Matt didn't go.
But hear me out.
But why did the Good Brothers go?
I agree. Why did the Good Brothers go? I don't know.
Here's the deal. Here's how you make that segment better. Jericho and MJF are still running amok around Daly's place. Okay, so Matt needs some backup. Keep the Good Brothers there. Send one brother to the hospital because that's family. Or, I don't know, send Mom, who just disappeared 99% of that freaking day.
She wasn't even there.
No idea what that happened there. But no, all I'm saying is that
away.
even if they're put in a good spot, They still are trying to sell themselves as opposed to selling the angle.
I agree.
That's the problem I have with the Bucks. You are self-sacrificing for yourselves, not self-sacrificing for everyone else. And by the way, you've said it yourself. We're self-sacrificing. Those words that come out of their mouth. You know that. I know that. You're not self-sacrificing if it benefits you.
Yeah.
It's not called self-sacrifice.
It's called self-serving.
No. Leroy sacrifices for his two wonderful kids. You, Leroy, as much as you know it is worth it, you still lose something by getting them what they need. That is just fact. Blatant fact.
Yes.
It's worth it, but it's blatant fact. But my point is this. They are once again given on a silver platter chicken, and they make chicken shit. I'm not kidding. You fucked up the FTR, and now you're screwing up an angle with Jericho and MJF.
You know what's funny?
Story.
You know what's funny?
You're screwing it all up.
You know what's even worse? Jericho and MJF are probably winning these titles tonight.
Yep. I agree. So
Really?
now, Leroy, that we've gotten through afterbirth, after placenta, afterbirth, we'll go to the pay-per-view.
So now thinking that in my head,
yeah,
I think I almost agree with you on the segment because I think MJF and Chris Jericho are actually going to win these fucking titles tonight.
All right. Well, I'll go down in order.
Okay.
As they have on Wikipedia.
Does it have the pre-match? So I will say this:
is there a pre-show?
Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
It did not have any of the pre-show.
So it's going to be. It's going to be Riho, Britt Baker. It's a fatal four-way. Okay. Riho, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa in a fatal four-way elimination.
Okay.
Yep, they don't have that.
Here's what's going to piss everyone off. So I want to get to this.
It's going to come down to Riho and
Nyla Rose. Because we talked about the finals.
Yeah.
I'm going to back this up because I have to yell.
Okay.
They had their actual number one contender, Big Swole. Big Swole. Swole. Remember her?
Oh,
Swole.
Yeah.
The woman that they haven't featured on television for 2 fucking months.
I also want to point out on the episode that I was really listening to, I did compliment her, which I agree. I have enjoyed her work. There was a lull after Tooth and Nail, but she has come back to the level that I believe she was before Tooth and Nail. For some reason, Tooth and Nail killed her for a while.
Which is why they had to rebuild her.
Exactly. But you've rebuilt her with, like you said, 8 weeks of no TV.
Here's the thing. Here's even worse.
She's your number one role.
She was on Dark last night because, of course, they always do a Dark before they do a pay-per-view.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She cut a great promo about how she is technically the number one contender because since Abaddon lost, which she fucking shouldn't have.
Yeah, we know.
Big Swole is technically the number one fucking contender.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
They went and did this tournament. Let me finish.
Hold on.
Okay.
Before you go on, I want to add to your point.
Okay.
Based on their sports-based presentation idea, Jesse's correct. Move on.
So,
wins and losses.
They then did this tournament.
Wins and losses apparently matter now in AEW.
No, they don't. You're fucking lying.
I know.
So, you did this tournament.
Yep.
Yes.
Without your number one contender. She wasn't even in it. She wasn't even in the tournament.
Here's how you build Big Swole.
Even worse,
they
had her cut a promo where now, apparently, she will get the next title shot. Then why wasn't she in the tournament? What is so hard about this?
Ask Kenny. I don't know.
That's all I'm going to say. Just ask Kenny.
Listen, I've always if I can yell at WWE for having men book the women's division, which now they've done better at actually having women do it, which apparently they need more women on Raw to do it. AEW, I'll speak directly to you, Cody Rhodes, because funny enough, I actually, as long as I didn't delete it, because I have a thing of deleting my Twitter feed, my Twitter DMs.
Fair. Very fair.
Somebody from his Twitter actually reached out to me because I DM'd him and I said, listen, why does your friend Kenny book this women's division? It's horrible. It's horrible. You have one of the best younger rosters I've ever seen outside of WWE. They get booked like horse shit. Because I watched that promo and it pissed me off.
I love the roster.
It's great.
This is why on WrestleMania weekend we're going to book that 6 weeks of television so that we can show you how you're supposed to book the women's division with the talent that you have. And I use the phrase talent, not Belle before, but I use the phrase talent.
Oh my God, how could you say that?
I know, she's apparently the best one there.
Yeah, whatever.
So
back to your point.
So, because I'm like, I don't care who answers this. Somebody tell me why Kenny Omega is booking this division, because he's done a terrible job. He's done an absolutely horrible job. And these women are somehow still getting themselves over to an actual broader audience than what you are capable of doing on your own.
Yeah.
Okay? I got an answer that was basically, we will take your comments into into consideration.
No.
We appreciate that you reached out. That was basically what the fuck I got back from AEW. Kenny, stop booking the women's division, because after she cut that promo, which was actually very, very good, I went, wait, she's right. But the fact that she's right means your product is shit.
Yep.
Continue.
My follow-up tweet to that is, I know you're going to delete me, but you guys fucking suck. That's what I would say. All right. Well, good. We're going to have a four-way, and then that'll be a good pre-show.
And I'm the guy that defends AEW.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. So then we got, as we were just talking about, the tag team match with the Bucks in a circle.
No, it's okay. Next week when we have Cal and Corey on the show, they're going to somehow talk about how it's been great, and I'm going to look at them and be like, really?
Yeah.
Next week is going to be fun.
I can't wait. But
all right.
Continue.
Yeah, we had the tag team match with, you guys believe that the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho and MJF, are going to win.
Yes. I do, yeah.
It'll be interesting. All right. Then we have the next one is that.
Since they failed to put MJF.
This random question. If they do win, does this not just kind of prove that you beat FTR and you had no idea where to go with those titles?
Like I said earlier, the Young Bucks fucking suck at this.
Yep.
Go on, Leroy.
All right, then we have this god-awful street fight.
Oh.
Even Hogan was able to push younger talent through the means of the U.S. Championship. I'm sorry, continue.
So I'm really hoping that Sting comes out alive.
Will this be the last time we ever see Sting in
I'm nervous, I'm scared, and yet my popcorn is ready.
God.
I won't be watching this
I
tonight.
will be.
Oh my
I'm gonna watch a nice lovely movie with my children, because Claire wanted to watch a movie with me, so we're gonna watch.
To be honest,
a
Disney movie actually might be better than this pay-per-view.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
then we have the single match for the women's title, and it's
Shida versus Ryu.
Shida versus Ryu.
Yep.
Yes.
It's going to be a great match.
I hope it is.
But now when I think about Big Swole, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
I'm 50-50 on if Shida actually retains.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This is actually the best chance, because it's fucking Kenny Omega and he loves Joshi's apparently.
No.
And I love Joshi's too, but not to the effect of hurting my own company.
He also likes rubber. He also likes plastic dolls too. But hey,
well, I mean, have you seen Rio?
Well, plastic blow-up dolls. I should.
Have you seen Rio?
I know.
That's not fair because the blow-up doll weighed 10 pounds more than Rio.
Yeah.
Have you seen Rio?
and that it almost beat him too.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
All right, so then we got
wrestler, then.
Paige, Hangman Page. It's big money match.
This is gonna be a
for
match
the winner receives the losers 2021 first quarter earnings.
This is going to be a great match.
This is the only match I think will be an actual match.
This will be a great match.
Because I think this is...
actual story build.
All I want is it'll be a great match if the Dark Order and Private Party are...
Well, Private Party and TH2 at this point.
Fair, okay, yeah. If TH2 and Private Party and Dark Order are involved, fine. But if it's a 20-minute match, let's be honest, it's AEW, it'll be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes, and then they fight to the back.
That's fine.
Not 3 minutes in the match. 3 minutes of total...
Yeah, chaos for a second, and then get them to the back.
And then they fight to the back, and then it's a one-on-one. But this...
Because Matt has recently cost members of the Dark Order matches.
But this match has potential to be the best wrestling match on the card.
And you know what? At this point, I'm at the point... Because I think Hangman should win.
Yeah.
Hangman, since Dark Order is basically a face group now anyway.
Yep.
Just have him join.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I know you're not doing much with Alan Angels and 10 besides putting them on that, that you're getting to, on a match that they probably shouldn't be in.
Yep.
But I will say he should just join. Him as a face leader works.
Yeah.
Because they actually get along with him really, really well.
Yeah.
And you know what? Cole Cabana, it's okay for now in your career, because I'm sure when New Japan allows you guys to go back, you're going to go back and wrestle. Just be the manager since Anna Jay's actually hurt. Continue.
There we go. Then we got the Face of the Revolution ladder match where the person who wins gets a TNT Championship match. We got Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Penta, El Zero, Lance Archer with Jake, Max Caster, and then they have 2BA. There's another one that's going to be in there, to be determined.
And Paul White's going to announce it tonight because apparently it's a signee they have. I actually think
is that the big Hollywood Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame. I think the Hall of Fame is a misdirect.
Yep.
I don't think it's Kurt Angle because why the fuck would you put Kurt Angle in a fucking ladder match? Then again, it's AEW.
They have.
I know people think maybe it's Paul himself. I don't believe so.
They have done a masterful job of once again buying publicity, but not actually delivering yet. Now again, I'll give them. They don't deserve it, but I'll give them a chance with this. But folks, once again, they have done a beautiful job of making everyone in the wrestling world speculate. From the VPW discussion to the PWL, everyone's been speculating.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem is, guys, if it ain't what it should be, oh boy.
Yeah, everybody's disappointed.
No. If it's not to the level that it should be,
like probably Brock. Which I mean, Tony's dad could pay Brock.
Well, but here's the deal.
Seriously, Tony's dad could give him $20 million.
I understand that,
which would be stupid, but he could do it.
I understand that, but here's the deal. I don't even think Brock hates people enough. I don't think Brock hates people enough to ignore the fact that this has been a joke.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that mad at Vince. I don't think he's that mad at Vince.
I thought you guys. I don't think Brock hates people enough to be like, well, let me go take their championship and go home for 6 months.
Nope.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. Okay.
Oh, shit.
I am here to make a declaration. I know it is all based on opinion, but AEW, you are dangling one hell of a worm here.
It's got to be big.
It's got to matter. If it's Kurt, do I think it lives up to it?
Yes.
Yes, but
why would you put him in the ladder match?
Yes, but here's the deal, guys. Y'all better make sure that it is a Hall of Fame talent. That means now. By the way, I want to point something out. That means it is a former WWE guy.
Well, for sure.
It has to be a name. If it's just some quote-unquote indie guy that everyone knows,
like I know
it's going to fall flat.
I know people are throwing out Christian because technically his contract was up after the Royal Rumble. That's a big name. It's not super huge.
If it's Christian Cage,
I'm cool with it.
Is Christian a Hall of Famer? Yes, but Christian is Hall of
Weight.
No.
He's gonna wait.
He is a fringe Hall of Famer.
Well, he's gonna get in, but he's gonna wait.
Right. What I'm saying is no, but that's what fringe is.
Yeah.
You get in on a later vote.
Yeah.
But if it's not a first ballot type talent, it falls flat.
And I mean, everyone always speculates. That means CM Punk's going.
No,
he doesn't.
He already flat out said it was.
I mean, he took a pretty good ass whooping when he did MMA. I think he's done taking ass whoopings.
Look, and by the way, even if it is Punk, guys, you should have gotten him at the beginning.
Here's what I'll say though: if it is Punk, that's a massive fucking crossover name.
No. If it's Punk,
that's massive.
you win the day.
Like that's massive.
But the reason why I don't think it's Punk is because if Punk was going to make sense for these guys, it would have been night one.
No.
Here's why.
Well, for them it would have made sense.
Yeah.
For him, no, because the money they were offering was not compared to what he could do if he just went back to doing shit on television for WWE.
But as far as I'm concerned, why, if with that checkbook, was he not offered to him from the beginning? I would have said.
You know what? I will say. I will give the.
I would have put. Mm-hmm. I would have put 60 of the 86 wrestlers. Because I think there were 26 that were more worth it because of the current status. But I would have put minimum 60 people on hold and said, I'll get back to you once I'm done with Phil. But I would have waited on him.
True.
And I would have kept raising
that offer. And like I
offer.
said, on their end, yes. On his end, wait.
Fair enough.
Like,
no.
Because
I agree.
The questions keep coming back to WWE and pressers like, hey, you guys keep talking about bringing in bigger talent. Why don't you just go get the guy who was one of the biggest faces you've ever had?
As far as I'm concerned, I am embarrassed. Well, I already am, but I am embarrassed with the negotiating skills of Tony Khan. If
he's not his dad.
No. If the starting asking price for CM Punk, and I'm being kind, wasn't $5 million, I would, if I were Punk, I would have flipped the bird too.
So
it should have started at 5.
Before he finishes, I believe the first offer rumor was actually 10. But to be fair to
that's
Punk,
why I think it should have been. I said I was being kind at 5. I think it should have been 10.
I think Punk turned it down, one, because he was still in a legal battle with WWE about his name, because he wants to own that name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, technically Punk is probably worth like $25 million. Easy. So
easy.
I get it. Go ahead.
All right. So we have some other weird matches. Miro and Kip Sabian against the best friend Orange Cassidy and Chuck.
Defend your boy Chucky T on this one. Did
you actually watch the Dynamite match?
Yep.
You still no?
No. I have never canceled Chucky in the ring. I have canceled the fact that Chuck should have taken a couple of pins over Trent. And I've also said this has been a joke use of him as a singles talent if he's as good as you say he is.
I agree.
So now I'm saying if he's still doing this, defend what may I rephrase?
Go for it.
Yes.
Defend what they're doing to your boy Chucky T.
Oh, there's no defending it. This has been horseshit booking of one of the best wrestlers in the world, or one of the top 20 wrestlers in the world. Now, for him, Orange Cassidy matters a bit more because Chucky is not a great promo cutter, never has been.
Yeah.
And when Cassidy does his weird, I'm this really smart lazy guy thing, I actually think it will work in that benefit.
Okay.
But even worse, as far as this match is concerned to me, once again. So, of course, he had a match on Dynamite. I actually thought, I'm like, perfect. Chuck fucking looks great. This is how he should have been booked since Trent got injured.
Yeah.
I digress. Once again on Dark, before the fuck pay-per-view, Chuck has another match he's an older wrestler, but he's been really, really fucking good. It's great. Like, they gave him 20 minutes. It was a corking fucking match for an internet show.
Yeah.
It was corkingly. I mean, NWA power levels are fucking good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
But they, of course, had to have an afterbirth. So Miro comes out, helps to beat the shit out of them, because Penelope Ford, of course, comes out to do her little distraction. By the way, we have to have that girl on because I would love to debate her about Penelope Ford. This chick is boring. She's not a good in-ring performer. And she's only nice to look at for 5 minutes because I live in Duluth, Minnesota, and I see chicks that look like her every fucking day. I digress.
Where?
Just go to the colleges, you creepy old man. I digress.
I forgot. I used to deliver food up there.
I say that with love to my man, Leroy.
He does.
I'm not a creep. I'm a dirty old man.
There we go. You dirty
There's
old
a
man.
difference.
UODB.
I got shit about
Let's finish
sitting
up
up
this
there.
pay-per-view.
So,
All right.
So they did it. This was the last part of the build-up.
Yeah.
So they did a beatdown angle.
The afterbirth.
And so Miro cuts a fucking promo. I've been wasting my time with you. I should be champion. So you know you should be champion. You know this.
So you know that this whole thing is.
So you know this whole thing is bullshit.
You know this whole thing's been a joke. Okay, sure.
What?
You can't just say that after everything you tried to sell to me. You can't just now, 4 months later, try to convince me that you've known this whole time you shouldn't have been the best man.
All I want to say
really
is that this Dark hurt your pay-per-view build because anyone like myself who watched Dark went, wow, I've been defending it, but yeah, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Because why isn't Miro in the title picture?
Yep.
He hasn't been close once. And I mean, I give them credit during the pandemic that, they tried to get Brody the shot right away.
Yep. Nope.
And they didn't have a choice, even though they had just brought him in.
Yep.
You try to give Lance Archer a couple of shots right away.
Ugh.
You have fucked his build some,
Yeah.
but quite a bit.
Oh, just a wee bit.
But it's just this match is going to be horseshit. You want to know why? Miro's going to take 90% of the match. Kip Sabian's going to probably get a pin on fucking Orange Cassidy somehow. Yep. Kip Sabian is the second worst wrestler, only bottom to fucking Joey Janela to me. He's not exciting.
No.
He's not. If I were to be a guy who worked for Vince, if Vince signed him, and Triple H was like, okay, I think I could put him in the cruiserweight division, I would say in about a month and a half, you're gonna bury the shit out of this kid.
Yep.
He's useless.
Yep.
Let him go back to England.
Please.
Yeah.
Continue.
They're gonna have a women's
take Miss Ford with you.
Yeah, they're gonna have a women's
Please do.
tag team match with Rio Thunder Rosa against Britt Baker and Rebel.
Oh, okay. That's the build-up match.
They might have that at the beginning. I guess.
That's going to be the free match right before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a tag team. Okay,
It is a tag team, and then of course,
who's tagging with who?
Britt with
Rebel.
With Rebel
Against
Riho and Thunder Rosa.
They pulled Nyla from this match.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fine.
Or unless they have another one.
No, it's
they
fine.
Didn't put
It's
on
fine.
there,
It's
so.
fine.
We'll
They
see.
probably pulled Nyla. Nyla's been working her ass off to give her credit. So.
I know.
Yeah, and then we get the tag team royale, and then the disaster exploding barbed wire.
Where half the
I
tag
don't
team
know what
is
the
from
hell.
the same group.
Yes, and then the exploding.
Hey, hold on, before we get to that.
Okay.
Can I just say this? This isn't an inner circle situation where you knew that if it came down to two inner circle teams, it was going to be Jericho and MJF because that's the leader. Yeah. This is literally nobody really cares which Dark Order team wins. They're all basically on the same level.
Yes.
Which
now
I feel so bad for Stu Grayson and Uno,
right?
Who are actually
Doing better.
Actually, one of the best tag teams that they have, and one of the best tag teams in the world.
And now we get to the piece that is. Hold on. Because it is Kenny. Let me get my tie ready and let me get my French accent out. The piece de resistance to my performance.
The garbage, destroy, blow up, barbed wire match.
Leroy, do you smell that? Oh, it smells like bullshit.
Oh my God! Yes.
John
and I'm
Moxley,
not smelling what The Rock is cooking because Rock would cook it better.
Couldn't even. John Moxley, surprisingly, even though this is a match that I think in real life he would love, he couldn't even sell that because it's like when he was saying, if this is my last match, what do we go out? He didn't seem that interested in the interview. Don't tell me that was John Moxley.
No, he knows this is not his last match.
It's like, come.
This is gonna be so. The more we get into this match, and of course they did some fucking stupid thing after Dynamite where they actually show like 10 minutes of how they're building it. I'm like, oh great, and then they admitted, oh, this is actually gonna be on the football field. I'm like, oh cool. So this is all smoke and mirrors. Good job, guys.
At least in Japan,
great job.
As stupid of an idea as this is, at least in Japan, those matches were taken seriously.
Yes,
that was legit.
Yes. And, so they brought on the Legend of Tushi because...
Can I just point out, and I just want to get this part over with so we don't get too angry about it. This is an insult to anything the Great Hayabusa ever did.
Hell, it's an insult to Atushi, but the cons have money, so I would have taken the money and did the interview
I would have taken the money and ran too. Because by the way, forget what they paid him in American. Think about what they paid him in Japanese.
Oh, probably nothing compared to what he just got paid just to do that interview.
Yeah.
So... Atushi is talking about the history of these matches and how
highlights are mind-boggling
and brutal
because
to watch.
They were real.
Yes,
this is going to be smoke and mirrors because even Tony Khan knows because his dad's done football. Even Tony Khan knows, and I quote: "You don't succeed unless your best players are healthy."
Yes.
if they did this for real. They ain't going to be healthy.
No.
This is going to be the biggest abortion done on Jacksonville Field other than any Jacksonville Jaguars home game.
Since last year.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you know what I think they should do? And I'm serious. I'm 100% serious because this is what I think they should do. You should call up Trevor Lawrence and be like, this is what you have to look forward to working with. We're going to give this pay-per-view for free because you're going to be a Jag.
He might fucking hold out. Let me say this.
I would.
About this match before we move on to better wrestling, which is WWE in this case.
Yeah.
That's how it always is.
So they showed this stupid little 5-10 minute video where they're showing the building of this thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're actually going to have this match inside of TI Bank Field. We're going to have the crowd inside of the stadium there. And we're going to actually have them do long entrances from this and that. And I'm like, oh, so this thing where Kenny was like, on this death, we're going to have a death match. And he tried, and by the way, when he gives a serious pose, he looks fucking constipated. Okay? And
I know.
So now you make a mockery of an actual art form.
Yep.
You have Luther on your roster who went through these matches for real.
Yep.
I mean, he's blessed to still have a career going through these matches for real.
He's blessed to have legs that work.
You have
Mick Foley, Terry Funk.
Well, on their roster, Jerry Lynn has done one of these.
Jerry Lynn did it.
Has done a death match before. These things are taken seriously, guys, because when you fuck up, you can literally die. That's why they call death matches.
Yep.
But you're calling yours a death match when it's clearly a joke. Fuck you, AEW.
Yep.
But I'm going to watch.
Yep.
I'm going to watch. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a fun mess.
It's going to hurt.
And what's going to be great is Jon Moxley, I think, and this is what I'm hoping after this match.
Is
One,
this his exit to go to Japan for a year?
Is that he goes, I don't even want the championship. Let's get this shit over with. I'm going to do New Japan the next year. Fuck you guys, I'm done with this. I'll be back in a year when you get your shit together. But
John likes this. We've said that from day one.
Well, he likes this kind of match. But this is so smoke and mirrors. This is the type of shit that made him leave WWE. Because he wanted to do more hardcore shit, which, by the way, Triple H ended up just doing in NXT, where Vince was like, well, I don't want to put that on the main. Understandable reasons.
Okay, if you watch this show, you have to have that.
Well, let's just pop that baby open now. Because I need it just talking about this shitty.
You still have to drive.
Shitty.
You have to drive.
So how many percentages is this?
It's a logger.
Oh, I'll make it home just fine.
All right. I'm not worried if it's
So let me say this, but don't crack it because it is Superior and they don't like black people over here. Let me say this though.
Hey now, wow,
you do, but not the Superior Police Department.
Well, I thought they were very nice.
Jesse's comments made by Jesse do not reflect those of 13 parts of the change.
So before we move on to actual stuff like Fastlane and
this is some good stuff too,
in those nature.
Yeah.
Thank you AEW. For mocking, even though usually you do a very good job of appreciating history. They do. I will give them credit. They usually do a great job of appreciating wrestling's history. And they do it way better than Vince does. I'll give them credit for that.
I agree.
But this is going to be such a mockery. Mm-hmm. I hope John leaves. Yep. I hope John is like, you know what? I'm good.
The problem is, though, this is going to hurt John's credibility. I'm sorry. It will, because you left for this.
Yeah.
And by the way, all you had to do was just go to Japan and do it where they do it for real.
Yeah.
And instead, you decided to hook up with a bunch of dudes whose whole careers have been smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
If Kenny doesn't go to Bullet Club, if he's not built up by Bullet Club, is Kenny ever this guy?
Oh, Kenny's just a mid-carder in Impact.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kenny's smoke and mirror was BC. Yeah. End of story. The Bucks, BC, and then the hate.
And then
WWE.
none of the original members in Japan even respect you anymore.
No.
So they like the Good Brothers, of course.
Oh yeah.
Because they have a lot of love for Carl Anderson.
Well, but Carl's an originator, and Carl has always taken his shit as serious.
So before we get off of this, just a little quick. So AEW fans, I want you to understand with this whole BC thing that you want, this BC Elite thing that you want.
It ain't gonna happen.
So Finn Balor is having a match next week with Adam Cole.
Yes.
Another former, I guess a former member of BC, but I never really count American BC that much if they never went to Japan. Okay?
I agree.
Underneath it, Jay White texts a photo of Prince Balor when he was in New Japan doing the Too Sweet sign.
Yep.
And on his caption, he goes, "Real BC always lives forever and wins." Basically telling Adam Cole, I'm going with my guy Finn.
Yeah.
Finn was real BC. He was one of the originators.
Finn and Carl unless they just absolutely shit on the name.
Which they never have.
Will never not be. And honestly, AJ to a point as well. Because,
yes.
Because I think AJ
was a great leader.
Oh, he really was. He was a great leader of the Bullet Club. And Tama's not an idiot to the business. He just takes it seriously in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
He understands that BC needed new leadership.
Yes.
He understands it had to be a rotating thing.
Yes.
Tama's not an idiot. My point is here, though, is that AJ's fine.
Yes.
But AJ's not untouchable for BC.
No.
Who is untouchable is Balor and
I think because
Carl.
AJ got the beat down exit as well.
He did.
But
my point is that that real BC will be Balor and who was I going with?
AJ and Jay.
No. AJ's fine, but he's not untouchable. Untouchable will always be Machine Gun.
Oh yeah.
And
Finn Balor.
And Finn Balor. Because and by association to Machine Gun is Big.
Big Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows and AJ Styles are both
all the
Tongans
Tongans do is speak highly of Luke Gallows.
Oh yeah. But again,
I love him.
But again, Gallows and AJ are not untouchable, but they're close.
Yeah.
Untouchable is Balor and
absolutely
and Carl.
Absolutely.
Balor,
so to good wrestling, I see on our slip that we were going to maybe do a quick review of Fastlane.
Well, no, I just
first and
it's
foremost,
coming up. They've only announced
it's not up yet.
a few matches yet. They only have
first,
the tag team match.
Gentlemen,
first, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leroy has. It is now time for This Day in Wrestling History.
Oh,
what do you got?
Yes. Well, this day, and this is local history.
The official day is, by the way, March 7th.
Yeah, March 7th. A year ago, they did, and this is just local. This happened a year ago. First Wrestling down in Minneapolis. Put on one of their last shows. The last show that Darren actually was at.
Right.
And he hasn't wrestled for a year. But that show alone,
he has announced, by the way, folks, he ain't done.
No, he isn't done. He's working on getting to a show.
Yeah.
But that one was last year. Was a great show. Yep. They had he was there.
Yep.
Take Her Home Records won the belt. I believe they had won the belt that time.
Yep.
But they had Orange Cassidy on there.
And again,
they had the Flip Brothers on there.
And again,
nice.
And everything.
And again, First Wrestling has actually presented Cassidy with good opponents to make it work.
Yes.
I've said before, I'm very complimentary of Orange Cassidy versus Darren in those three matches because Darren knows how to work with what Cassidy does.
Yeah. And also, it was done in style of old WCW, done in a shopping mall.
Right.
And it was very interesting. But they highlighted a lot of the local female wrestlers.
Yes.
Lana Lane, that we've seen her with the unicorn.
Yep.
Oh, Lady Luck.
Lady Luck.
Lady Luck was
sorry.
Down. Yep.
So I don't mean to interrupt you. Apparently, Lady Luck signed with MLW. I heard recently.
Really?
I think possibly, yes.
I'll have to look that up, yeah.
Which, if that's true, because I got the chance to speak to her at he's wearing the mall shirt.
MAW.
MAW, and I got to talk to her some. Congratulations. She's incredible. Did not know she actually got the chance to work with Meiko Satora before in the past, who's now going to NXT UK. I got the chance to find that match. She's worked pro wrestling even in the UK before. Wow.
Yeah.
So, Laney, if you did sign, congratulations. I was actually hoping you would sign with either Power or maybe Impact, because I think she belongs on a bigger stage. I think her gimmick is incredible.
Yeah.
She's a great in-ring performer.
Yeah.
And she's very young in the business, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she is young, and we hit her, and then we had Kara Normal. She's out of South Dakota.
Okay.
One of the local girls. I mean, a lot of good, and they featured a lot of good ones.
They did, yeah.
And that was a year ago. So, and hopefully soon, I can't remember if they did another show recently, but I think it's coming in close.
Yeah.
So we're hoping Darren gets back in there because we miss him terribly. Yep. And then there wasn't too much going on other than that, but then we have some birthdays.
Uh-oh.
So today,
March 7th,
Bruce Pritchard, or Brother Love, 58 today. He has a birthday. And then here's another one. This is going old school that not everybody will remember her, but I do. And just because of one thing. Major Guns.
Hey!
There we go, folks.
All right, I'm going to be ODB2.
Tylene Buck. That's her real name.
Yeah.
She's 49. Yeah, she was doing some...
She posted a photo like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey.
She's 40.
If she's still divorced, like, I'll be up in them Twitter DMs
She's doing some adult things now. That's what I saw, yeah.
I would like to do adult... Okay, we can't say that. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you know...
We passed Family Show
No kidding.
18 months ago, and we haven't been on the air that long.
Then we have 2 younger ones now. Chase Owens.
All right.
Oh,
31.
Happy birthday.
There
wow,
we go.
he's a year younger than me.
Yeah.
I thought he was the same age. No?
And then Tyler Bate.
23.
Hey, so young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, someone said that they started when they were like
Was Tyler Bate
13, 14.
Tyler Bate wasn't in the Speak Out movement issue, was he?
No.
Tyler Bate wasn't? Okay,
He's young. He's young.
I don't
But
know why I thought that.
Because Pete Dunne is going to turn 27 this year.
Pete Dunne posted a picture of his transformation while he was off in terms of his body. My God.
He looks phenomenal.
He's cut now.
He looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. And then I know tomorrow, I looked up tomorrow, the 8th.
Yeah.
Shorty G, Chad Gable,
All
it's
right,
his birthday.
Hey.
Jordan Grace, her birthday was on Friday, so we got a lot of
You're so beautiful,
birthdays.
Jordan.
Oh, she's, yeah.
Never change, girl. Never change.
Yeah, she's
All
awesome.
right, so moving on
Can
here.
you believe someone wants in pro wrestling and indie? By the way, this is why some of you indie companies go out fucking very quickly. Someone once told her, because she was such a thick girl and she was more into the actual lifting, almost Brock Lesnar type of wrestling, that she would never make it as a female wrestler. Well, you're fucking stupid, aren't you?
Right.
All
right,
she's
so
great.
moving on here, ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Lashley is the
Woo!
WWE champion. The second.
Hold on. Do we have applause?
Well, yeah.
We didn't have it loaded up.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's my fault. I should have told you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do what is it?
We got something for Bobby.
We do.
We got something for you, Bobby.
Oh, yeah. We have.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley is officially the third and official black heavyweight champion in WWE history. He is the second, I believe, all-black champion.
Yes.
Kofi's obviously born in Ghana, but Bobby is African-American, born here in the United States. But obviously Rock is black Samoan, but obviously Brock always more highlighted the Samoan side of his heritage, which is fine. And we're not knocking on that. But no.
I do in arguments with him, but I'm just being an asshole. Continue.
Yeah. but anyway, well-deserved.
Yes.
Bobby is a constant professional. He's been that way for a while. I said before I thought this was maybe a consolation prize because Brock probably wasn't coming back. But I'm not here to say Bobby didn't deserve it.
I want to say
I'm not here to say that Bobby Lashley wasn't deserving back.
Oh, he definitely did.
And I definitely want to say on this title win.
Yeah.
The MVP is MVP.
Yes.
And so someone and Adam, Edge had a beautiful response to this. So a beat writer, I want to say for Barstool Sports, the wrestling side.
Okay, yeah.
He posted I think the greatest comebacks of last year, and it's been a great revelation, have been MVP and Edge, because first of all, we got Edge back after 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Incredible.
9 years.
And then MVP comes back. Was supposed to have this short contract after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They keep him on because they're like, okay, he's we need the bodies, and he's very good at working with Drew.
Yeah.
And he has resurrected 3 careers.
Oh yeah.
Shelton Benjamin, who was just a jobber last year. Cedric Alexander, who was sitting and fucking catering.
Yep.
I don't know how that happened, Vince, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby Lashley, who I want people to remember, last year in January was still doing the Lana stuff. That was last year.
Here's the thing. I actually look back on that segment. History, in my opinion, has been better to that segment than the present was. And here's why. And here's why. If you really go back and look at it, and Lana recently spoke on it, Lana did her job to become hated. It was brilliant. And it allowed Bobby to have a transition into being serious with MVP. It gave Bobby something to work up from.
Oh, I agree.
So I look back on that. The actual what came out of it has been great for both parties.
Well, yeah.
It was not the best done at the time.
No.
But we're not here to argue that.
Also, because a third person got wasted in that whole stupid storyline, and that was Liv Morgan. But
yeah, that was.
But I must say, congratulations, Bobby, MVP. I got to agree. So what Edge said, and it makes you appreciate MVP even more. Yeah. Because what Edge was saying was like, what you guys don't understand is it took a lot of convincing, and Vince likes MVP a lot.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of convincing from MVP to let him work with Bobby. Yeah. And to let him work with Shelton and Cedric.
And to be clear, that is not Vince being racist.
No.
That is just Vince looking at three guys that were not doing anything.
He wasn't doing anything with them.
That is not a racist thing.
So,
that is just Vince would... Okay, here's the deal. You were not trying to convince Vince to build up three black men.
No.
You were trying to convince Vince to build up two jobbers and a main event looking guy who was not in a main event storyline. That is not a racist thing.
So,
folks.
but here's what I was kind of getting to was that it took a lot of convincing to, because at first Vince apparently was on the fence because he was worried about the racist connotation to the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
And
I talked about
yeah.
Raw maybe looking odd because this was presenting black men in a way
almost
that
like
never...
Evolution was these business beat down dudes that would take you out to get what they needed to do.
And it wasn't a thug gimmick,
no,
as a lot of black men have been presented in the past. It was a mob gimmick, which was always white Italian kind of look. FBI would have made more sense to do this gimmick back in the older days.
Exactly.
So that was my point, was that it was just an odd look because of how black men had been presented up until this point.
And apparently Vince was very worried about that kind of, especially since, of course, we dealt with the George Floyd thing last year and all of that.
Of course.
So a lot of credit to Vince for allowing MVP to do it, but a lot of credit, as Adam was saying, to MVP for saying almost what Daniel Bryan had done the last year.
Really?
And that was taking a back seat to build guys.
Well, not only taking a back seat, but being persistent.
Yes.
Being persistent and doing what it is. And by the way, it goes unnoticed. Shelton, I think we mentioned it on the show, but I still can't say it without choking up. You build these guys up, and what is the first thing Shelton did when he won the tag team titles? He went straight to Shad Gaspard's house.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fake, by the way.
No, I know. I'm starting to tear up thinking about it again.
But it's just, I think that when MVP, and I'm not saying, no, MVP hasn't said this. I don't have any inside sources, but you can't say it didn't have an impact. MVP watched Kofi Kingston win at WrestleMania.
Him and Shad Gaspard,
with Shad.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that the wheels didn't start turning in MVP's
of course.
mind. Because MVP went from a cocky wrestler to a man who had a mind for the business that I don't think any of us thought when he was on the show that he was that capable. But my point is this. Black excellence, I'm not here to push that. I'm here to push, take the skin off. These are three men who deserved these spots.
And I will say, I will push the black excellence side,
which is
it
fine,
because Mark Henry talked about it.
I'm not saying
and I get what you mean.
But I'm just trying to say
Mark
these are
Henry,
three guys who are just good at what they do.
Mark Henry posted something very powerful, and it actually, it might fucking make me tear up again.
Yeah.
But he posted a video congratulating Bobby, but he also wanted to give MVP credit because he said, I want to show you this photo. And the photo is of a black kid holding the WWE Championship after seeing Bobby win it.
Yeah.
And it's basically, like I said, I'm starting to get choked up again. It is basically like, listen, you have a shot at doing this too. You can do this too. You don't have to go down the hood routes that we've had to go down. You can do this too. And MVP, by bringing these three men together, it's an uplifting. Yes, I know that they're technically heels. Yes, I get that. But me and you have agreed on this show. They have been one of the best things on Raw every single week.
Bet bad guys can be cool.
Yes. Yeah. And they're and I mean, this monster run that Bobby's been on the last 3 months.
But my whole point about it is that when I say I don't want to push the black guy, not that it shouldn't be pushed.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that, folks, this is also another example, and I think it needs to be said.
Yeah.
If you get someone that is willing to believe in you, listen to that person.
And apparently
these 3 guys listen to MVP.
Yeah.
And this is not kayfabe. This is real. You listen to that guy, and all of a sudden, you are running the flagship, original, biggest brand in wrestling.
Yes.
You are.
Definitely.
Yes.
Bobby was great, black, white, otherwise. Yeah. Shelton's always been great, black, white, otherwise.
And by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Great.
I got to give MVP credit.
Oh, yeah.
These biggest runs for Bobby Lashley's career, including the TNA Championship, come every time he works with MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
and you got to give MVP. It's one of the things I gave Ric Flair a lot of credit for admitting in 2005 when he did an interview about working with Triple H personally with Evolution. Was he said the hardest thing sometimes for you to do when you are so great. And some people thought it was a slant on Hogan, but I'm like, Hogan slants himself, people. He didn't need to take a slant on Hogan. Is you taking a step back and going, how can I, in all my years, in what I've built as a legacy, help this guy become even better than what he... Because remember, before he got to working with Triple H was already a multi-time WWE champion. He was already a innovator.
Triple H ultimately did it because he wanted Flair to be
He
Flair
wanted
again.
to work with someone who became a personal friend in Richard Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So... Like I said, I give these guys a lot of credit. I give Vince a shit ton of credit for going, you know what? Do your thing. You know what? Because Paul even came to him and said, you know what? Let him do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon cannot, and I don't know what's in his heart, but as a businessman, he cannot be ever considered racist when he changed his biggest night of the year because he looked at what Kofi did and he said, that's real.
Yeah.
That is something that just exists.
Yes.
That is legit.
Yes.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, Vince changed everything for Kofi. Because he realized it Kofi Mania makes me cry to this day. I rewatched that over and over again and it never changes how I felt.
It always tears me up.
But it's just he changed in the middle of the road to WrestleMania. He took a right turn when he should have gone or was going to go left.
Yeah.
Not should have, but was going to.
Because he saw an organic moment happening in the Gauntlet match.
Yes.
Where he was like, because, of course, he replaced Mustafa Ali because Mustafa got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
And so he was like, well, listen, we'll just have Kofi win this thing. He's not going to really win the championship at the Chamber.
Yeah.
But he saw an organic moment where wrestling fans are like, dude, hell yeah. Because there's a genuine love for Kofi.
And he saw an organic moment happen with Bobby.
Yes.
And because remember, folks, Bobby's not champion without Vince's approval. Triple H don't have that kind of clout. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Shane doesn't. Stephanie doesn't. They all know who it goes through.
Yeah.
And it is Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Correct.
Folks.
The 75-year-old, I believe.
Yeah. Close to it. But
BKM.
Folks, this is the thing you have to understand. Vince McMahon did what he did. And whether or not he had the best of intentions for a young group of black men, well, younger for Vince, he gave them what they earned.
Yes.
And that's the point that I want, especially my godson, who is Donovan Willie's son himself.
Yes.
That is what I want Donovan to understand, is hard work will pay off.
Yes.
But when someone believes in you, don't think you have to do it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let someone believe in you. Because see, that's what I think a lot of kids don't get these days, is there's this idea that it all has to come from you. Folks, I'm not here talking on this mic if Leroy doesn't just sit there and say, I'm stubborn as a mule, let's do this, because I think it's going to be good, whether the rest of the world thinks we're good or not. I think Zach and I are going to put on a great show. And obviously we've brought in plenty of people who've been great since.
Oh, yeah.
But Leroy's that guy for me who got the equipment and said, let's just go. MVP looks at these guys and says, let's just go.
Yeah.
And MVP knew that whether it was WrestleMania, Fastlane, Raw, whatever, he knew Vince was going to see it.
Yes.
He knew that.
Yes.
He knew Vince was going to see it at some point.
Yes.
So again, this is not. Again, I'm not trying to bring the racist thing into it, but Vince doesn't deserve that moniker because look at what he's done. And by the way, folks, Vince.
One of his closest friends is R-Truth, people.
Exactly. By the way, Vince.
To be fair to him, it is.
Vince didn't, and by the way, Vince is not doing this because of the George Floyd situation.
No.
Kofi was organic.
Yes.
MVP and these guys, that's organic.
Yeah.
You point to George Floyd, I'll point to 60 other reasons why it's not because of George Floyd.
Yeah. To me, the biggest thing was, MVP got these guys together.
Yeah.
Because Vince has always seen Bobby Lashley as a main event guy, but it's almost like never pulled the trigger.
But here's the deal. How many champions, and Leroy, this is a prime example for you. How many champions that you've seen needed a mouthpiece? How many champions could be champions but needed a little extra and it just took somebody else to take the microphone?
Not that many.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen the ones that I remember and knew. Most of them could do it themselves, and didn't have a mouthpiece with them.
But there've been some special ones who needed a mouthpiece.
Yes, there has been a few there, not many.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them it's
and that's what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, to be honest, I could just think of one right off the top of my head. Brock Lesnar has always needed a mouthpiece.
Well, but here's the thing. That's where I wanted Leroy to go. Yeah. Is the correct answer is yes. There's a lot of champions who obviously didn't need a mouthpiece, but occasionally,
a
great champion just needs one more thing.
Yeah,
Undertaker technically didn't need it, but he had it for a long time.
Here's the deal, though. What does Undertaker become without Paul Bearer? Taker's not Taker without Paul Bearer.
True.
No. Yeah, it's totally not. Yeah.
So I don't think Bobby Lashley reaches what Bobby could be without MVP. But Brock doesn't reach the level that Brock got without Paul. That's going back to when Brock was the next big thing.
That's facts. They were trying to make him a Russian.
I've heard the stories. That's crazy.
Brock, Bobby, and I'll even say the Midnight Express. Great tag team, but needed something.
Yes.
To really be hated, you needed Jim Cornette. To really create the animosity between the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express.
Hell,
you needed Jim.
I like Bret Hart, but who is Bret with? Because he had the Mouth of the South for a short time, didn't he?
I believe so.
And without him constantly talking about how he was the excellence of execution.
With the Hart Foundation, yeah, they always had him with the Hart Foundation.
Folks, there's a lot of greatness.
And to be fair, it was needed early in his career because Bret's early promos are kind of bad.
Cringe worthy.
Yeah.
But that's my point to but no, Leroy made the point perfectly. Is most of the champions we think of did it alone, but sometimes you have people like a Brock and like a Bobby. Greatness is there, but they didn't get all of it.
Yes.
And there's not, but that doesn't mean Bobby doesn't deserve to be. And again, I'm not talking the level of world champion.
Yeah.
Not once you're a world champion, now there's layers to it. He's not a Ric Flair in terms of Ric Flair's a better world champion, but he deserves to be called a world champion like Ric Flair.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just Bobby didn't. And again, it's not the way they grew up because Rick growing up was not the perfect thing. We all know that. It's been documented. It's just that Bobby needed something else. The good Lord upstairs did not give Bobby the mouth that he gave Ric Flair.
And in this case, he did not get the mouth that he gave to MVP.
Exactly.
Who's just a hell of a promo guy.
It's fantastic.
I honestly thought they were going to pull the trigger on Bobby yet. I thought they were going to take some time.
And by the way,
you know what's funny? We agree because remember I said, I'm like, he's not going to get the championship till Fastlane, and then it'll be short lived. But as soon as I saw the match,
here's the deal, though.
I'm like Bobby, and then I saw the reaction. Can
we actually give Miz a little bit of credit?
Well, Miz deserves a ton of credit.
He was fan-flippin'-tastic.
He deserves a ton. No one wanted him to be champion. No one besides Miz fans.
That night, that Monday night will go down in history as one of Miz's single greatest nights.
Oh, I know. God, it was like
because
everything
he was
possible.
Perfect in everything he did. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But my point is this, is that even if it is short-lived for Bobby and they give it to Drew at WrestleMania, even if that's the case, Bobby deserves it.
Yeah.
And Jesse, black, white, we'll take it out for a second.
Yeah.
This is wrestling. There is very few times is there a perfect situation.
Yeah.
Bobby's reign, short or not, doesn't mean that Bobby doesn't deserve that belt at some point.
Oh, no. That's facts.
The last 6 days that has preceded Bobby's reign, the black excellence, the black uplifting, all of the kids, everything.
Yeah.
That should not be diminished by a short reign by Bobby.
And I don't think it would be.
No.
But like we just talked about with Kofi, sometimes Vince can. Well, in this case, he has to go off of what his people will say about what's going on online.
Yeah.
But there's an organic feel of shit. Maybe Drew, because Drew does not get hurt if he loses a rematch at Mania to Bobby. He does because they're going to have a great match like they've already had.
Yes.
Because, by the way, I still feel Drew McIntyre is probably the MVP of last year.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the best.
I'm still giving it to Bailey overall, but but for the men,
for me,
for the men's it was Drew. Yeah.
For me, I'm like, how does a champion stay that popular and relevant when there was no fans?
Right.
Drew was incredible, but he loses nothing if he doesn't get the championship back at Mania.
Right. But now what I'm saying is let's think hyperbole.
Yeah.
Let's think, okay, let's say Bobby, this is a transitional month.
Yeah.
Let's say Drew gets it back in front of fans and Vince goes with that plan.
Yeah.
Let's say that's even the idea.
Yeah.
This is all speculation.
Yeah.
But folks, it doesn't diminish what Bobby accomplished.
It probably makes him a bigger threat as far as.
But here's the other thing.
Plus, they could build a really long rivalry off of that.
Can I just point this out? Let's also just give Jesse's point another chance. Let's say Drew gets his moment in front of fans, does that mean that Bobby's at the back of the line?
No.
What if we give Drew that moment back, but then Bobby and Drew continue?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
I don't have an issue with that.
I think that would be a great summer rivalry.
We're acting like this is the old days where, all right, I'm in a territory with a bunch of, and again, I'm not saying this ever happened, no names, Jim Crocket was obviously great. Okay, we're in a territory where there's more black people, we'll give them the belt, but we'll come back in a month and take the belt off, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying anyone ever did that, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that's not the scenario. What this could be is, this is wrestling, why not Bobby stay at that level? Why does it have to be the scenario I just said? Why is everybody going doom and gloom on the internet that, now that because Bobby is black, that Bobby just goes to the back of the line because he loses one night to a white guy?
He will not.
What? But no. My question to the internet wrestling community, the IWC, is why are we doing that?
Yeah, don't do that. Because first off, here,
why are we sitting here saying? Because again, we've talked about Vince's organicness.
Yes.
Why do people think that Vince is this evil being that just because Drew's going to get his moment that he didn't get last year because of a pandemic, that Bobby can't go another 2 years with Drew? Why are we sitting here immediately? See, here's the deal. Vince is not the racist in this situation. And I'm not saying black people racist. I'm saying all of the negative people who bring the race part into it, you're the problem, not Vince.
Yeah, no, it's
you're
not
the
Vince.
ones that have to live with your idea
because here's the
that
thing.
You're forcing the racism.
There's somehow, so I'll thought the scenario. Drew gets it back at Mania. Well, guess what? I've been telling people.
What if we fight till SummerSlam?
Brock ain't coming back, baby.
Probably not, no.
And now you've built an actual monster who will be there every week for Drew to actually feud with outside of frickin' Randy Orton. And of course, I will throw the Fiend in there, even though apparently Drew said he doesn't want the spookiness around the championship. I'm like, I got bad news for you.
It's probably going to happen.
It's probably going to happen. He's the highest seller in the game. But you're going to have to deal with him.
But okay, this is my point.
Plus, I think Alexa's fucking great.
This is great. Back to Leroy, back to what I was saying about Jesse. Jesse, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
You, as a black man, are not trying to bring the racism into this.
No, and all I'm saying...
It's a lot of the white people on the internet wrestling community who are like, that's racist. I'm like, you don't have the right to believe that. If Jesse thinks that's racist, Leroy and I have to go off that. But if Jesse's sitting here saying that Vince is not the racist, if Leroy and I got mad, it's completely marred by Jesse being the only black guy on the show saying, how is this racist? Because again, folks.
And this ain't Fox News, people. There is no one paying me.
No. Folks.
To go against something.
Folks, Jesse is sitting here saying, Vince is not the racist. You're all bringing the racism to it. Yeah. Again, I didn't call black people who are against this racist. I said black people are bringing the race into it when at the end of the day, it's racist if Bobby... Well, it's possibly racist if Bobby never gets another shot.
Yeah.
But if it launches Bobby and Drew for a year,
that's great.
How is Bobby buried and how is it racist?
Yeah, Bobby's not going to get buried off of this. Even if Drew beats him, Bobby does not, because Bobby is now the best heel,
they've got
the best foe. And you listen. Remember, The Rock and Triple H used to do stories for like a damn year and make it work.
Oh yeah.
So it's all in how it's going to be presented.
The top 2 years, the top 2 years of the Attitude Era, Rock and Stone Cold were back and forth with each other, and they'd ignore each other for like a month, and then they're back in the same bullshit.
Well, yeah,
it's great.
Drew and Bobby. You got Braun, you got The Fiend, and you got
question.
Randy.
Why?
You got those guys that you can intermix
Yes.
But that's
all
my
of them
question.
together.
Why are we being the positive show, and why is the rest of the internet being so... Because you've seen these things.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're idiots.
Why is everyone from white to black to blue to green, why are we all immediately jumping to, oh, he's black, it's a great moment, but it's only going to be a month? Why does it only have to be a month? Just because he loses the belt doesn't take away from the moment.
And like I said,
that's my point.
And like I said, it feels like the toxicness from the wrestling community comes from the fans. And some of you might hate that fact, but it's factual. Yeah. So, but overall, this is a good thing.
And by the way,
I can't wait to see what happens.
I will eat my words if it is proven by Bobby never getting another shot at Drew.
Which I don't see happening.
Which I don't see happening because it's been so good. But my point is that if that doesn't happen and then reports come out that Vince was never happy with the black... If all that gets confirmed, I will come on here and apologize to everyone I've said. But until then, right now, what I'm saying makes more sense.
Raw has 3 hours to fill. Right now, that's the best thing they got going on.
Damn straight.
You don't screw that up.
No.
Well, you're struggling with your ratings for 3 hours. So yeah, like I said, my last words on it, this will be a good thing even if Bobby loses, because then they can just keep having Bobby and Drew feud over this thing, and it'll work.
Basically, not to get political, but don't talk racism until you find it.
That ain't it here. And it won't be at Mania.
It isn't.
No.
Bobby will still be in the main event. He will get the championship back probably on the next big pay-per-view.
Not to mention the fact, do you not think that if he does lose, it's not going to add another 6 weeks of material for MVP to go off of? It just gives MVP more talking points. That's all it does.
Yeah.
And by the way, even if they run a racist angle, it doesn't mean that... Because, again, this is the Daniel Bryan syndrome.
Yeah.
The fans actually thought that Vince and Triple H were against Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania. The fans are going to think it's racist, but if MVP runs with it, why not?
Yeah.
Because it's good television.
Yes, it is.
So
yes,
it is.
It'll be hot.
Congratulations to Bobby. You deserve it.
As long as Bobby, MVP, Cedric, and Shelton feel comfortable with the story, I am not going to sit here and say jack shit about Vince being racist. Sorry, I'm not.
Vince doesn't run with anything nowadays without the approval of his wrestlers. And maybe in the past, in the '80s, but then again, it was a lot of Hulk Hogan, and I could talk for 2 hours talking shit about that guy.
And to Jesse's point, we're not talking about stories and angles. He doesn't run with personal matters without the approval of the wrestlers.
Yes.
That's what Jesse's pointing out, because I'm sure when people heard Jesse first say that, like, Vince, listen to the wrestlers? I'm like, on personal matters. Business is a whole other story.
Basically, what Vince ain't going to do, so Rusev and Lana and Bobby aren't in that storyline without Rusev being cool with it.
Yeah.
At that point, you just probably wouldn't have seen Rusev until he got released. But otherwise, Vince ain't going to run with it without him going like, yeah, let's try it. Let's just try it.
And not to mention that if that ruined your marriage, a fake storyline, it wasn't that strong.
Unfortunately, though, in wrestling, apparently that seems to happen a lot.
But and I'll say this, and I'm not here to bring up anyone's personal lives, because I know Lance Storm tweeted about the Rusev thing.
Yeah.
Folks, you know what business you're in. You know that most of it is kayfabe. If you can't survive kayfabe, then your marriage wasn't that strong to begin with in real life. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Leroy, you're divorced. Stuff happened that proved that you guys.
There's no kayfabe with or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go. Folks, the last thing on our list, and I'm going to change it up a little bit, is, ladies and gentlemen, Leroy wrote down NXT. I am here to tell you this. After the garbage we watched on this past Dynamite, and after the way I've been watching the consistency of NXT TV, screw the ratings. This is a better show. It just is. I'm sorry.
I got to be honest. You AEW fans, in about, what is it going to be? I think 5 months, 3 or 4 months. You're going to miss the fact that NXT was on Wednesday nights. Because guess what? You're going to have nothing to talk about but AEW. NXT is phenomenal, damn near week to week.
Also, I hate to say this. Is it the war in politicalness benefits a country. Always. It benefits a country at one time.
Even between businesses is supposed to, yeah.
Here's the deal, folks. I'm going to hate to say this. Your ratings may go up for about all right, okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
It might go up a little bit,
let's say you hit 1 million for a month straight. You can't come talk to me shit because 1 month, 4 weeks, meh. You guys do it for 2 months, maybe we'll talk. Because here's the deal.
Just reach Raw's numbers and I'll be impressed.
Right, but here's my point. To Jesse's point, NXT is going to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we're wrestling fans. We watch everything regardless of what we think is better.
Oh, yeah.
When you are no longer up against commercial break switch, when the whole show is in front of a fan, watch that 1 million come down. Watch that original 800,000 start to come down. Because, folks, and I'll say it, I think the only reason you've won the ratings war is because you've been head-to-head.
True.
Yeah.
If there's no competition and you're still doing the same bullshit, all of a sudden people are going to turn around and say, one's BS, one's not.
Yep.
Even though Show said no more BS on the shirt, folks, I'm telling you, NXT...
I got to give him credit. That was some brilliant marketing, though.
NXT... It was great. NXT moving to Tuesdays, which I probably won't be able to see because I work late on Tuesdays, but I'll catch it later on. Here's the deal. NXT on its own...
It's going to do well.
Is going to be fine.
Yep.
It's you guys I'm worried about because your whole 2 years has been built on a war. And when one side doesn't really pull out of the war but just gives up on the war.
It wasn't even that. It was just they're being forced to move because USA is like, yo.
Hockey
and sports will now be on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Move your shit.
Well,
we still need you, but move it.
Well, but here's the deal. USA needs something. They've been going downhill for years.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. And I'll repeat myself because I think I deserve it because I'm the one that's been consistent this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
When you don't have a running mate.
True.
Let's see what the audience thinks.
Basically, Cody Rhodes, you have about 3 months to make all the changes you need to because the bad that we talk about on here will get exposed because now there's no other show to go to.
Because and for those of you who need clarification, we'll do it. NXT's product sometimes looks a little bit rough next to what you're giving me on Dynamite. But remember, on Dynamite...
Hell, it looks a little rough compared to Raw and SmackDown as well.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the deal. NXT is about building a long-term booking.
Yes.
AEW is about giving the fans what they want every night. Well, here's the deal. When there isn't we're going to watch solely so our side wins, and there is just, this is all there is? Cool, we get to watch it. Guys, popularity is built on war. Controversy creates cash, and when there's no controversy, sometimes that cash will run out.
Oh, yeah.
You might hit 1 million because you're the only thing there.
They're going to hit 1 million.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. But here's the deal. The people who are now solely watching you because NXT's not there, how long until they realize that what everyone's been saying is true? You're insulting to the audience. You treat us like we're stupid. You do this. This is not hyperbole. You do it.
Yeah.
Guys, you need to change your product now.
Yeah.
Now is the time where the honeymoon phase should run out. It needs to run out because when you're alone, good luck with this schizophrenic bullshit in convincing the other 600,000 who will be coming over to watch.
And I also want to remind you that their second show, whatever they just, and I have a feeling they'll actually decide to do good things with it, is also like Impact on the internet.
Yep.
So guess what? You're not going to get the numbers that NXT gets on Tuesday.
No.
Folks down there at All Elite Wrestling. This is me.
Here, let's clarify.
Help.
Tony Khan.
Thank you.
Cody Rhodes.
Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, and you know what? I'll throw Shad in there.
You know what? I'm not throwing Shad in there yet.
It's your money, bro.
Down.
It's your money, bro.
It's his money.
Okay, but here's the deal, folks. You think that you won this war? Somebody else stepped in for NXT and said you got to move. You didn't win jack shit. But here's the thing. The long-term build is what will keep NXT alive because, again, this is WCW 1999-2000. Boys, you can't do the schizophrenic bullshit for the people who are used to watching NXT.
Nope.
Because they're going to be used to consistency.
Yep.
Even if it's a boring week, it's consistent.
Yep.
But here's the deal. You think you've been winning without NXT.
Just wait.
I think we're going to find out in about 5-6 months, by about August.
I was going to say, I got to find that date again.
Yeah, NXT might have been the best thing for you. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Levesque was keeping you alive.
Guys.
You destroyed the throne, but the throne was keeping you alive.
Guys, your shtick works for about 800,000 people because they're always going to watch.
DX was saving your ass. DX went to Atlanta before in a tank.
Yep.
And tried to take somebody down.
It saved your ass.
Yep. Guys.
Now the tank is leaving.
Guys, and now I'm talking to the Bucks and I'm talking to Kenny.
You guys better go to that fucking Performance Center parking lot.
Yep.
Try to go get you some views.
Guys, guys, here's the deal. If NXT is on a different night, there is no doubt in my mind that now everyone at WWE will just completely stop caring about what they're doing on Dynamite.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yep.
But the problem is that you have built everything you've done on what NXT's been doing. Yep. That's your whole brand, boys.
We don't even need to review NXT, by the way, because that's how excellent the show is. So even on Jay's Take when I was doing shows,
I just want to say consistent.
Well, even when the show is a bit blah, there's excellent matches. They give you at least two.
Oh yeah,
2 corkers.
Oh yeah.
And I just and
don't give me this bullshit AEW that Johnny Gargano. It's like you can't insult Johnny Gargano. He's bigger than half your roster.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
You're trying to convince me about Kip Sabian, but for some strange reason Johnny Gargano's not okay.
Yeah.
I actually had an argument with somebody that said Kip Sabian's better than Johnny Gargano, and I just gave up on the conversation because I was like, hold up.
Hold my beer.
He is the same basic size as Kip Sabian, but he's got 1 billion times the wrestling ability.
It's a damn shame no one can see my face in my disgust. you first off, no.
Kip Sabian over Johnny Gargano.
Kip Sabian cannot hold the hair on Johnny's left testicle.
Oh, wow.
Like, just one of the hairs on his left testicle.
To say this in a more family-friendly way, he can't hold the hair of his wife.
Dude, he can't even hold a strand of Candace's hair.
Nope.
He would collapse.
Yep.
And don't even get me started on Penelope Ford.
Well, we're not going to talk about her.
But NXT, when it moves to Tuesday, which I'm telling you will happen quicker than you think.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, NXT gets the million, it's going to get a consistent million views because then the Raw people who watch Raw will be like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Not only that, but don't lie to me, AEW audience. You're going to watch. It's wrestling.
Yep.
We're the wrestling business.
Yep.
Leroy watched the Carolinas. He watched Florida. He watched
watched it all.
AWA, NWA. He watched Vince. Leroy, it didn't matter if Leroy liked Vern Gagne more than Vince, you still watch Vince.
Yes.
We are wrestling fans. We watch it all.
We watch wrestling.
We might have MAW shirts, but we love First Wrestling. We love Heavy on Wrestling.
Yep.
We love wrestling, folks. We're all going to watch everybody.
And eventually discover pro wrestling when he gets up here. We'll love those guys too even more.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week.
Oh, yes. We got to see that.
Please tune in next Monday when Leroy posts the episode. We're going to have Corey and Cal, both members of the DPW board right now.
And I've got bad news for you guys. Me and I believe Corey are big Japan fans, so we watch New Japan, AJPW, Noah, Stardom. Yep. So we watch wrestling.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please tune in next Monday after we record to tune in to see what it is. We're going to talk more DPW with those two guys. We're going to talk their loves in wrestling.
Oh, we definitely will have to, because NXT this week.
Yep.
Championship maps, both. For the men's and women's.
This is a free takeover.
Yes.
That's what this is, folks.
Wow.
This is a free takeover. And it's going to be great. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we had a beautiful week, thanks to Jay over here, of new subscribers to our Facebook. We have new subscribers to our YouTube. Please.
And we also had a great week on Podomatic. The fans out there for just the wrestling group, we actually were in the top 5.
Hey.
Well, it helps
for
when Jesse's
listeners.
pissed off of that Dave Meltzer.
So
that's true.
Jesse's anger towards Dave was the greatest.
I was checking out on Wednesday,
so
and I was checking on Wednesday, and I'm like, number 4. I'm like,
wow,
holy crap! So we are getting wonderful hits. Thank you, everybody in the U.S. is giving us hits, giving us downloads.
Yep.
Canada, Mexico.
Also,
thank you.
Also, since we are an honest podcast, and we just let you guys know, we are looking to move some of our streaming services over to Spoon. Jesse's going to help us out with that.
Yes, sir.
We are not leaving Podomatic.com.
No.
We are more than happy to stay with the people that brought us to the dance, but we want to try to get ourselves out to more people, and obviously try to get more fans to call into the show. So we're going to be trying to move over to Spoon as well. But currently, you can still subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, and please, we are now on Amazon Music.
Yes,
we are now we are now on Amazon Music.
Yeah.
So
look at
please,
the podcast.
ladies and gentlemen, we ask
the expansion continues.
We ask, ladies and gentlemen, here that you go find us on all those services. Please subscribe to all the services. I don't care which service you're actually listening, but the fact is that if you go make sure that we are heard by more people by getting us more popular, we will be able to bring you better content. We'll be able to come to you, and we'll be able to make sure that this show is as great as it can be. But like I said, we are now up to 44 subscribers on YouTube. That's a big number for us right now. We're super happy about it. We were at 28 for the longest time.
We want to get up to that 100. So
gotta get up to that 100.
All those new people that are following us on Facebook, everything, go on, hit that nice little button on YouTube, subscribe.
We have 186 people on our Facebook. There's no reason why we can't have 186 people on our YouTube.
I agree.
Please go subscribe to our buddy Jesse over at Twitch.
Twitch.tv/theblackness89. I do streams Tuesday through Saturdays. And then, yeah, definitely. Also, a little bit to help them out for Spotify. When you follow, it also helps Spotify know that this is a growing show, and it also helps Spotify to just free promote the show as well through their podcast channels. So make sure that you're following and getting your friends to follow because, hey, we want to be heard.
Also coming to the Blackness 89 soon will be me and Leroy ourselves.
Yes.
We'll be joining you
pop
on
there
Jay's
once
Take
in a while. Yes.
fairly soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for listening. Once again, great show. Loved it. Rest in peace to Jim Crocket for everything that you gave for us.
Thank you so much, sir.
It was a pleasure to watch what you brought to the wrestling world, sir, and I wish there were more people like you in wrestling. Thank you, sir.